Alright, we now have every child unit recruited, except for Kana, except for the main character. Which, can I do it right now of curiosity? Nope. Gotta do at least one more map. Can't get hitched quite yet. One more map to go. It usually takes like 2 maps, and we just had the support conversation after the last, so I guess it makes sense there. But yeah, let's see here. Now that we succeed, you can live out your dreams with Throng. No, what? We're still on this topic. But yeah, technically she already be part of the pack. Wolf packs are familial. Yeah, I guess that makes sense then. And yeah, they sure do seem to have played into that dub here. But yeah. Get the furry with the furry fanfic over. Get that out of here. Get that furry fanfic out of here. It's only about the oh yeah, I need to do weapon forging before I forget. So
Hello, can I help you?
So there needs to be a sword called the Throngler 2.0. Wait. Oh, there's one right there. I think the other point redemption was also for a sword. I need to be reminded on that. I think it was GMK that redeemed that for the Chikorita based thing. I might need a reminder. Throngler 2.2 Throngler. I don't think there's enough room for that. I wonder if there's enough room for the Throngler, but we gotta stay consistent now, right? Can't believe this is what it's come down to. Whoops, I thought B would go back. I guess it's X to do so. This is so dumb.
Goodbye.
Throngler merge when? Never. Oh yeah, you were using the Blade of Libra. Am I really going to, because the Blade of Libra sounds kind of cool, but like... Do we have our ultimate swordmaster have the sword with like a cool name? Or do we have our ultimate swordmaster at the end of the day wield the Throngler 2.0? Buy Harmonia brand Throngler, that sounds so wrong. Vote now on your phones. What's his weapon gonna be anyway? We also have other things that can be named, like the steel axe there. Steel daggers can be named. There's some tomes that can be named. Swords seem to be the popular ones. Yeah, you can always use a cool sword. You'll be using swords down the line, too. So, I mean... Yeah, hi.
Oh, wow.
Something weird here. Consider a present from me. Raider knife. Cool. Thanks.
Greetings to you.
Alright, time for the Femboy Lottery. Lance redeemed name a Pokemon. Oh, sweet, an Iron Lance. What's it gonna... Oh my god. Alright. It's... Ah! Aha! Gazak! This may take a while. Whee! Oh my god. It sounds so silly. Here, take these berries and stuff. Yeah, Serenoa's sword is cool, but not as cool as the Throngler 2.0. Was Blade of Libra the name of Serenoa's sword? Is that a triangle strategy reference? It's been a hot second since playing triangle strategy. I don't remember any weapon names. I really like triangle strategy, though. Like, I think it's one of my favorite story games. Not because, like, the story is, like, super engaging and, like, it has interesting cutscenes or anything like that, because it is not a great format, the HD2D style, for just the whole visual novel thing. But because of how, like, fascinating it is with, like, its politics and stuff. Yes, because you named it. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember from Triangle Strategy. So, yeah, that is pretty neat. But yeah, so the Throngler 2.0 is cooler there. Name an Axe Nova after Lucius's axe from PMD Dark Heroes. Okay. Should I give that to Percy there? I could name his. I guess I'm selected on Mozu right now, so that's what I'm doing. Oh, I'm already maxed out on Mozu. Sucks to suck. I wish it showed me what my current level was for everyone. No. Okay. Oh, there's someone I missed over here. Hold on. Ah, I'm getting fat shamed. Azura's Salve. Amazing. Look at all these Great Knights. I basically have an army of Great Knights this playthrough. It's so silly. But yeah, oh, and before I forget, I should go here. Who we marrying? You'll see here in a hot second. The one steel axe that I have in someone's thingamabob right now is here. But yeah, I just saw the Acorn story on Philip DeFranco. Dude literally did a combat roll and screamed shots fired. Yeah, so when I saw the Acorn at the end of the last paralog, that's now the first thing that I think of, and it cracks me up. All right, Nova is actually a pretty cool name for an axe, let's face it. And thank goodness with this texture pack, I actually still know what kind of weapon it is. Without the texture pack, with all the things looking basically the same, it's like, what kind of weapon is this anymore? Who knows? Some random tome, sensory overlord, or random spear, the poker. We do have a layoff spear somewhere around, I know. Yeah, right there. I know. Goodbye. But yeah, we're at A support right now. We need one more thingamabob here. Is what we need. Alright, let's see here. Time for some conversations, I guess. What's wrong, Harmonia? Are you sick? I think so. Lately, I've been feeling very tired. I've been pushing myself so hard, playing so much Fire Emblem. Maybe the stress has finally caught up to me. That's horrible. I need to take some medicine right away. Thank you, Midori. I think I'll be alright if I just rest a little. No, if you're sick, you have to treat it right away. The sooner, the better. Like I say, you gotta nip it in the bud. If you say so. Here, I've got some herbs to treat fatigue on me. I'll just whip something up for you. Oh, thanks. That's very kind of you. Now, let's see. I just need to mix this with this, and a pinch of that. Now, I just gotta grind this up into a powder, and presto, it's ready. Thank you. Should I take this with water? Yep, here you go. Cheers. How do you feel? Huh, doesn't most medicine take a while to kick in? Yep, but not this stuff. You should feel something right away. Really? Huh. I don't feel any different, though. What? That's strange. Maybe I messed up the recipe. But never fear, Midori's still got a few more tricks up her sleeve. I'll mix something else up and bring it over to you later. Sound good? Oh no, that's okay. You needn't go to all that trouble just for me. I'll be fine, really. It's no trouble at all. Just leave everything to me. Toodles. Okay. Well, yeah. Throngler 2.0 must be on the most powerful sword possible. So yeah, go to like our sword master and be a steel sword. I could forge up a silver sword, but it's just like not worth it is the case. I mean, if we're doing like the Cheaty Pete, I'm not doing grinding time because I'm too busy, and we'll just you know, grab whatever I need anyway. I could put it on a silver sword that way, because how it works is silver in this game is the most powerful, but after you use it, it debuffs you. So the best thing to be using long term is steel. Steel lowers your speed a little bit, so like there is an argument that you could make for iron, but generally steel is what you want to be going for while having a potential backup of iron. And so that's what you want to be committing like your forges to. Now, after you forge like a steel weapon like twice or something, I think, then it's already on par with silver. And then if you bring it any higher, then it's better than silver anyway. And then like your funds that go into making those steel weapons better are funds that you could have put into making a silver sword that's then on par with the steel thing. Like there's just no point to be taking that time to be forging up silver stuff when you can just take those resources that you'd otherwise use and put into steel stuff. I have said during this playthrough though, like I am not really going to be taking as much time for grinding because I am so dang busy this semester. I really do not have the time to be doing like the gold grinding or EXP grinding map between sessions here like I was during the Birthright playthrough. So I've just said, hey, I'm using Cheaty Pete strats. I just closed them using Cheaty Pete strats. I just hacked in like a whole bunch of gold. I'm forging things up to +2. The max is +7. I've never gotten something to +7 in a playthrough before. I think the highest I've ever gotten something in a playthrough before is +4 or +5. Because it like the difficulty of doing the next one is just doing the previous thing again. Because like 2 steel becomes steel +1. 2 steel +1s become a steel +2. 2 steel +2s become a steel +3. So it gets incrementally harder and harder and like more and more weapons that go into it. So I think usually in my playthroughs, I'll have like a weapon on my main character, like a tome that's +4 as my main go-to weapon. I'll have like a couple +3s around, and then most will be +2s. So I use Cheaty Pete strats here, and I could have absolutely been like, oh, I grinded all the way up to +7, or I cheated into +7, because realistically that just negates the grinding time that I'd otherwise use to get up to that. If I wanted to be really cheeky, but it's like, realistically, I would not do that much of a grind. I don't have that kind of time or commitment. So, I feel like +2, that seems like realistic for what I would achieve if I did put in the time, so that's what I felt comfortable doing. But if I'm doing cheaty peach strats, and I'm disclosing that I'm doing cheaty peach strats, and therefore that warrants putting a little bit of effort into silver, does that mean that we should make a silver sword +2 with cheaty peach strats that's called like the Throngler 3.0 or something then? It's just like the one that's only pulled out in like the most dire of circumstances, when you need to hit so dang hard and don't care about the debuffs, like emergency situations. Because, like, considering the way that we're handling the weapon forging here, if I'm just going up to +2, maybe I'll get some +3s later towards the end, since I typically have some +3s towards that. I wonder how far I forge things in my Birthright playthrough as like a reference. But yeah, let's see here. You played have triangle strategy, haven't played it yet, you should. Well, that's a decent bit of a commitment though. But yeah, I did a bit of mining off camera. Yeah, that's right. There's that. The true Throngler. Throngler 3. Throngles and Tribulations. No. I always thought that was the second Phoenix Wright game, because Justice for All sounds so much more like a final thing. But it's not. So yeah. Joe Wildcat redeemed name a Pokemon. What's it gonna be here? Here. Well, let's do the stuff with parents and kids in a hot second here. Midori has a thing with Ignatius. This is gonna take all day. What, that last map? Hello, Midori. Are you looking for something? Ignatius, yes, I am. The divorcer? Let your wife know what will happen when they don't make you happy. Wow, that sounds like the kind of thing that's gonna get my content flagged, but hey, we don't need that additional context there. We don't need that insinuation of spousal violence every time that we use it, so I mean, it's probably fine. Can you do me a big favor? Can you lift up that big rock for a minute? This one here? No problem. But, like, we've already named so many swords, so it should probably be something else, I would imagine. Oh, yes, I've hit the mother hole. The mother lode. Mother lode of what? Is it something under the rock? Can't really see while I'm holding this thing. Oh, just go ahead and set it down. Sorry, I should have told you that you didn't need to keep holding it. Look, it's just what I needed for myself. Ugh, bugs! Get them away, get them away! Yep, these bugs contain a type of protein that helps make my medicine work. I've just got to dry them out and then grind them up into powder. That's disgusting. Ugh. Oh no, are you alright? Do you need some medicine? I've got a little bit ready right now. Does it contain more bugs? Forget it, I'm fine. If you don't need any more help, I'll see you around. Poor guy. But yeah. Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing that I really don't want to be promoting. But yeah, without that context, it just sounds like a meme name, so I'll slap it on to something here.
Hello, can I help you?
Let's see here. So I mean, if I look at the convoy, I guess I could have started the other way around there. Oh, I have a Steel Axe +3 that I made by accident that I put away because it's too powerful. Are things assigned to everybody right now? Should I make a dagger called that? That feels dark. It should be something like a lance. A dagger feels too realistic, and yeah. Do not want to play into that then, I don't think. Here, just do this then. Here, a lance. In that case. We have the layoff and then the divorcer, I guess. Is what's going on here. This Valentine's Day has taken quite a turn, hasn't it? My goodness. Gonna eat in a bit, going to come back in a bit. So what is the truth? But yeah, excuse me, you should be giving your wife all the love in the world, not threatening to throttle her with divorce. You had me going into the first half, not gonna lie. Here. What does Leo say in his final conversation ever to his non-femboy son? Big day has finally arrived. Shigure's exhibition is underway. Time to see how things are going. Wow. What an exceptional crowd. There are more people here than I imagined. And from what I'm overhearing, everyone seems to love the art. Yes, I think it's safe to say that this event is a great success. Wait a minute. Where's Shigure? I don't see him anywhere. Shigure, what happened? Why are you only arriving just now? How could you be late for your own show? Sorry about that, Father. I've been up all night working on my painting. One that's been causing you so much trouble lately. Yes, that's the one. For God's sake, don't you remember when I told you not to overdo it? Why are you so fixated on this piece? Aren't there enough canvases here? I promised myself I would complete it, no matter what. I made this because I'm thankful for everything you've done for me. This painting, it's your mother and me. Yes, it's a portrait of you two. So this is what you've been devoting all your time to. Indeed, my love for you and Mother cannot be measured. You brought me into this world. Without you, I never would have been able to paint. So I wanted to put all those feelings into this portrait. Shigure, you've been acting so nonchalant while keeping this secret from me. I had no idea. Father, it hurts when you hug me so tightly. Sorry about that. It's just that you've made me very proud. I feel the same way about you, Father. Wait a minute. This isn't the time for a heart-to-heart. We have to put this painting on display. Okay, it's a little embarrassing, though. Why? Because it's personal. Son, it wouldn't be much of an exhibit if the finest painting here wasn't on display. Let's go find the perfect spot for it. You don't really mind, do you? No, of course not. I know just where it should go. Okay, also, GMK, now that you're back at Bagai Dinner, so doing a quick minute checking to see how everyone's doing. You redeemed a name a Pokemon for a weapon, right? Based on a Chikorita. You gotta remind me what it is, because I don't remember. I think that was you, right? Question, when you kill someone with the divorcer, do you take the kids? You know, this is a sentence that I would imagine, yes, but this is a sentence and question that I never thought that I'd be reading and answering in my life. Sword, it was a sword, but any weapon will do. We have one sword, like, one steel sword that's unnamed. I think Sophie had it right now. But what was it called again? You gotta remind me here. And Sophie here is going to eventually become our Dread Fighter. So that's like the ninja that wields swords, axes, and daggers. So she's gonna be like really cool and stuff. Carvia redeemed name a Pokemon? What do you want to name a weapon here, Carvia? What's it gonna be? Ronsky? What kind of weapon? Do you have a preference? Probably like an axe because it misses a whole lot, I would imagine, right? Or something like that. Any weapon? Alright, it's gotta be an axe then for like lowest hit rate. Is what it's gotta be because Ronsky, no. Alright, yeah, I don't remember what the name was, GMK. You gotta remind me here. In the meantime, I'll do Ronsky. So I just did that one, Nova, as like a cool axe. Does anyone else have a steel axe right now? Perfect because of Ronsky, no? Yeah, so I figured lowest hit rate, the axe. Does anyone else have a steel axe right now? Oh, you have that steel axe there. So I could do that one. That's what I could do. Curious, does Xander? Yeah, Xander has a steel axe +2. Should Xander have a steel axe +2 here? But yeah, there's the clip. Anyone just watching Fates here that isn't familiar with like the whole Ronsky thing where Bob here, I can pull up this clip. This is from like one of the first ever playthroughs on the channel where Carvia and I's collective friend Ronsky here that I'm fairly certain is how we like met one another in the first place was through Ronsky. I haven't talked to Ronsky in like forever. 6 years ago. Holy crap. Ronsky, no, Ronsky. Used up one of my reviver seeds. I remember Carvia clipped that because he thought that it was real funny there. This Weedle ended up being named Ronsky and just went and like ate the hit and got absolutely screwed over. And then it happened again like years later with Explorers, I think. Wait, was it like a Parasect Ronsky that time? Can I just search up like clips of my channel? I can't look up my name. So So Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky. I could probably find it. Oh, it was Runeski is what it was. We wanted to play off of, we wanted to have something different. So instead of Ronski, we named it Runeski that time. I went for at least 6 years. Yeah, probably a little bit more than that because yeah, it was right around when I was getting into that stuff there. Yeah, so we named a, so then all those years later, so this is 2022, like 4 years later, apparently, January 16th, 2022.
Notski as the name here for the one that.
Oh, it was
Notski.
Notski.
Do you think?
Proposed at first.
Yeah, Bronski is pretty bold for mugging a Parasect.
And then it was a Runeski. Yeah, so it was a Parasect.
Should we name him Notski? Runeski?
Runeski is what it was.
In all caps? Or
Yeah, and Carvia asked
Yes.
for Runeski there.
Runeski? So
Oh.
there's Ronski.
I said,
That is
what
the
did I say?
evil
Oh my god,
evil.
yes to the
The-
all caps, and then I didn't even do all
muggle.
caps. Whatever. And then there was, it was this one, right? Wait, these are clips of different lengths. Oh, because Carvia clipped it and Shuck clipped it as well. Was the case,
Yeah,
and
wasn't
then
it?
Runeski, no. Is this a command too? It is!
No! Ronski, no!
And then this Parasect sandbagged me even harder, I swear.
Ronski, no!
I was mad.
No, Ronski!
And that's a command too. So yeah, we have the exclamation point Ronski no and the chat. That's like that old clip. And we have exclamation point Runeski no. That's that one. So we have the one from 6 years ago and the one from 2 years ago. So, knowing Fire Emblem Fates hit rates and all here. Xander won't even be able to use it for a little bit. He won't be able to wield it yet. But wait, should we do Ronski or Runeski or Runeski? We get like an extra character now. Like we add a character every time the reference comes up in this channel. Like what are we feeling here, Carvia? You did the name redemption. Are we just feeling Ronski for Ronski no? Are we going Runeski? He's saying lol, sure. Alright, now it's Runeski. As time goes on and the reference continues, we'll get a... eventually we'll get a Runeski no command once that axe misses and screws me over. Then, get more and more O's each subsequent time. When you first joined, you thought it was Ronski no? We're doing a run out of characters. Delete the channel. I don't know. Alright, well, some great weapon forging there. Alright, also, I guess I'm just gonna scroll way up in the chat to see if I can find the name for that, sword from GMK. If, I can't scroll up anymore. I think that was before Eagle's raid, and it's like right when Eagle raided as far as I can scroll up, so I have no idea what it was anymore. We'll find out sometime later, in that case. So we meet again, Soleil. Oh, it's you. We'll have Runesk. That's right. Let me guess. Planning on spying on the girls at practice again, right? I wouldn't call it spying, more like people watching, but yes. I suppose you'll be ogling that group of guys, hoping they'll start smooching. That's right. It makes me happy. Well then. You know what? This is actually a chance for you to see how cute and wonderful girls are. Likewise, you could learn a thing or two about the charms of men. Okay, so first of all, girls smell amazing, not like stinky boys. Stinky? Alright, maybe a little bit. But one of the amazing things about guys is the purity of their relationships. If a couple of guys are best friends, they'll do anything for each other. You know, she's not wrong. Like, my elementary school friends that I grew up with through the German bilingual program that I knew all the way through grade school because there was only so many German bilingual schools, so we had to go to, like, the same schools. Like, we'll chat, like, maybe once or twice a year, very seldomly, but we're the kind of friend group where it's like, if someone needs something, like, the rest of the group is there for them. Like, that's the way it is with the fellow guys in this group. But guys are so... What's the opposite of soft and curvy? Like like one of my friendos there is helping me with my truck a little bit, for example. I was just out at the family's lake cabin with him last weekend after I was dog sitting there. So last stream when we had Lily on the stream here, one of my elementary school friends was out. Well, grade school, I should say, in general, friends, because it was like elementary to high school. Was out there, and we were taking turns throwing the toy for the doogie on the ice and stuff like that. And you know, we'll do stuff like that from time to time. What's the opposite of soft and curvy? I think you're thinking of sinewy and muscular. Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, this hasn't been very productive. No, I suppose not. That's too bad. For a minute there, I was sure you'd join me on the girl bandwagon. Maybe it's not something one can be talked into. Maybe not, but it was kind of fun to try. Yeah, weird. Well, I guess I'll see you here tomorrow. You better believe it. Now I feel like I'm obligated to just see how this support line ends. With curiosity. Once again, Toxic Yaoi versus Toxic Yuri. I've heard these terms before. I don't know which is which. Like, I can guess what generally they mean, but I don't know which is which here. So you never had a friendship of that level? Yeah, I realize that I'm in like a very lucky position with this German bilingual program from like going to the same schools for what, like 14 years? Because there was die kleine Kinderschule, the kindergarten, and then grades 1 through 12. So literally 14 years of being like, maybe not always in the same classes, but at the same schools at least, and more than half of that time in the same classes. So you definitely really get to know someone over that time. For sure. It's too bad that, like, in junior high and into high school is when I started developing my social anxiety and kind of drifting apart from them. And then, because I was worried that they thought of me as annoying, that whole group. And then finding out, like, way later after high school that they never thought of me like that. And it's like, wow, I should have, like, not been drifting away and been thinking too much about this and should have been, like, closer friends back then. But, like, hey, at least we're occasionally having, like, some get-togethers and catching up on everyone's lives and stuff like that. At least once a year we try to. After the fact and stuff like that, and nice to have those kinds of connections. But yeah, oh, I'll get tracked it down. Yeah, well, user points for nice. All right, I'll name a sword that. I appreciate you tracking that down. Most of your friends either vanished from your life, what's this gonna lead into, or became your arch nemesis, is constantly hunting you down. Almost all my high school friends vanished, is the case. But that's a whole can of worms here. I think the last time I talked about that was during Metroid Prime Hunters of all things, when Guzma brought up with like keeping close connections. Phew, that was great. I'll chat about it in a sec here. We made it to the end of the song. I never imagined that we would be able to make music together again. I know what you mean. I honestly think that our singing sounds better now than when I was younger. You've really matured into quite an impressive young man. At this rate, your singing skills will eclipse mine in no time. That's impossible. We may be singing the same song, but the way you sing has a mysterious power that I don't possess. Mysterious power? What do you mean? Your voice has the power to rally allies and stop enemies in their tracks. Well, if I reclass. I could never sing like that. Shigure, I don't know about that. Ever since I returned, I've had the same persistent thought. I may be your child. My songs don't have a fraction of the power that yours do. If only I could be more like you. Shigure, I know you can sing like me. Jeez. What? How is that possible? My songs may be powerful, but that's only because of the pendant that my mother gave me long ago. So the pendant is the true source of your strength. Indeed, if you were to wear it, perhaps it would have the very same effect. Maybe it would be even more effective. Do you think I could give it a try? No, I'm afraid not, dear. Overuse of this power can destroy your body over time. Destroy? What do you mean? Wait, can it lead to your death? Well, you've worn that pendant for so long. Why don't you stop? Let me take on that responsibility for you. I can't stand to think of you suffering. You are my beloved son, Shigure. I would never dream of saddling you with this burden. I'm just now realizing how funny it would have been to pair up Azura and Xander and then have like the two brothers of Shig and Sig. I would never give you this pendant. Not now or ever. Oh, I see. I'm terribly sorry, son. I never planned to speak of this with you. But know that your songs do have power. They have the ability to ease pain and grant peace of mind to anyone in earshot. Sing with pride, Shigure. One day, when this war ends, I plan on throwing this pendant into a lake. It should sink to a place where no one will ever possibly find or use it again. If I should disappear for some reason, please get rid of it from Ishigure. What? You're the only one that I could ever entrust with this important task. Very well. You can count on me. Thank you so much, dear. I hope it never comes to that. I hate to think of you leaving me here. If you do, my curiosity could get the better of me. I might want to use that pendant. Just know that I'll haunt you for the rest of your days if you do. I was kidding. I promise I won't ever harness its power. After all you've done to protect me, I could never betray you. But what if it's a life or death situation and you need to harness its power? I hate to place such a cruel burden on your shoulders, but you are the only one I can trust. It's fine. People don't ask me for help all that often. I'm pleased that you would trust me with such an important task. Would you mind if I asked you for a favor too? Certainly. What is it? Could we sing our song again sometime? When you aren't wearing the pendant, of course. I swear we will again, someday. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, Mother. Yeah, gonna say or bullied me since you were one of those guys who didn't realize he was a victim until years later. Yeah, that's kind of one of the situations I ran into. I guess this is the conversation that we're going into now. So in high school, I had in junior high school, I should say, first and foremost, I started kind of drifting away from my German group there and started getting involved with this drama group there. I started being like a bit of a drama kid in junior high school. Never in high school, though. I dropped it because I was learning too much other stuff that I was interested in and didn't have enough room for drama. But I started getting to know this drama group. I don't think I know anybody really from it anymore. I can't words. So I started getting to know this group and hanging out with them for like my junior high years, but felt like I wasn't ever like super duper close to anyone there, except for one guy that continued to be like a good friend of mine into high school, and this one girl that I met in grade 7 and I knew for about a year and a half before she moved away. I met her when she nearly gave me a concussion on the first day of class when we were waiting outside of the class. She was like laying on the ground for some reason. I don't even remember why. I could send her a Discord message and ask her why. We talk from time to time nowadays. I walked backwards, tripped on her, and bashed my head on the wall. And, yeah, there was that. And then we ended up being, like, best friends for a decent while. And then she developed a thing for me, and I, like, wasn't ready for that kind of thing at that point. And, she dealt with a lot of bullying at the time, and, people treating her differently because she was a little bit of a wild child and I was a bit of a wild child too, so like we really clicked with one another and stuff there. She had 2 other close friends that seemed to give me a lot of shit for being close to her. Like they were very, very defensive of her, and that seemed to make it really difficult for her to make like other new connections. And talking about it more recently, apparently she doesn't really look back on the way that they treated her all that fondly there. But yeah, she moved away, kind of lost contact. I was going on Facebook for some reason, like, several years ago and saw that we were still added there and reached out to her and started catching up. She lives on the other side of the province nowadays after moving away, so we haven't seen each other in, like, a really long time. But like, we'll chat from time to time and catch up and stuff like that. And, you know, so that's a fun connection there, but that's not one that's, like, an active, kept connection, and that's only one that was rekindled more recently. The guy that I was kind of close with in junior high school there, that I kept the friendship with into high school there, he was like one of my best friends in high school. I'd say that there was 4 people that I was really close to in high school, and he was one of them. He was the guy that got me into Twitch. He introduced me to Twitch because he was on Twitch like all the time, and so when I started streaming, like, was I wrapping up high school? Was I just finished high school? I don't remember, but he was the kind of person that never really wanted to get together and do things. He'd hang out if you were in the same place anyway, like school, and do things together. But in terms of actually organizing, doing things together, playing games together outside of class, he would just be like, nah, I'd rather be home and be on my own and, like, not socialize or do anything ever. So it was really hard to do stuff with him. And when I reached out to him after a little bit saying, like, hey, I actually started a Twitch channel. This is, like, here's my channel. I linked it. He told me, nice plug. And that's the last time we ever talked. That was the last message exchange between us, was him telling me nice plug. And as far as I'm aware, he never checked it out. And I maybe second guessed the fact that I linked that to him because I wasn't trying to plug. I was trying to be like, hey, we're friends. You're the one that got me into this platform. I know that you're on all the time. I thought you might like to know that I started a Twitch channel. And he just told me nice plug. And I think that's the last thing that he ever said to me. What's that? I don't think we've spoken since. Man. Unless it was either that time or the time that I tried to sell him knives when I couldn't find a job anywhere. And I got involved with like some awful MLM that I was too young to realize was an MLM because I was just desperate for a job. So that was hella awkward. So after both those situations, I think that we're just on like weird terms. I don't know if we even have each other added on Discord anymore, but I haven't heard from him in like forever. So that was one of those friendos. Two other of those friendos ended up hooking up with each other and then never really having time for anyone else anymore, and then I just didn't really see them all that much anymore. I see them from time to time in lines for midnight releases at my local GameStop. And in the couple there, the girl in the couple, she's actually the one that first designed like the hat badge that I use like around here all the time. I see Carvia's DM'd me a couple times. But like this thing is even like stole the server badge. She drew like a physical on paper version, and then I drew like this digital version based off of that. Like this is when I was starting streaming. The two of them were like early mods of the stream and used to pop in here from time to time. And because she was involved with art stuff, she designed like several different sketch hat badges for me and was gonna like digitalize them, but never really got around to it. So I took the one that I thought was the nicest one and I digitalized it and did that. When I ran into her the last time in line for, was it Tears of the Kingdom? It might have been Tears of the Kingdom. It was either that or Scarlet and Violet. I remember we were catching up a little bit and she had told me like, oh, I feel really bad that I said that I was going to do those hat badges for you. I never went and made like a nice high quality one and digital one there. But like, hey, I'll be sure to follow up and get on that now. And that's the last time we spoke. So yeah, many years ago, she had told me that she was gonna actually make that, and then it was just kind of dead zone, and I finished the job myself. And then like a year and a half ago, she was like, hey, I'm really sorry that kind of ended up being radio silence. I'll be sure to do it now. And it's radio silence again. So I don't know what the heck is going on with that. And then the other one, the guy, he feels very awkward around me now. It kind of feels like. When we were in line for Scarlet and Violet, I was the only one there in that little group of people that I recognized from high school that was not looking forward to the games, because I was just like, I'm picking this up for review purposes for my channel. Like, I've seen the trailers. This looks like it's gonna be a buggy, unfinished mess. And what do you know? It was a buggy, unfinished mess. Like, he was super hyped for it. He was ready for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet to be like the second coming of Christ. Like, he's been waiting for this game like forever, and he was super hyped. And like asking if I was hyped, and he seemed pretty excitable about it. I was like, not really, and you know, explained some of my gripes with it, and he just kind of seemed like weirded out by that and like turned off by me, and I was like, oh, okay. Then we didn't really chat all that much, and then we ran into each other in the line for, I'm fairly certain it was for Tears of the Kingdom, I think, where there was a little bit of a group that I recognized from high school there, and was going and chatting with them, and he was part of it. And we didn't really speak all that much, but there was one time that he broke the silence and he said to me like, you know, sometimes I get recommended your videos on like YouTube's homepage, but I just can't bring myself to watch them because it's just too weird to me that someone that I went to high school with is now a famous YouTuber. I was like, I'm not a famous YouTuber, man. And he was like, you definitely are a little bit at least. And he just seemed to like be putting me on this weird pedestal or in this like other group here where it's like I live in a whole different world from him now, and just it felt really weird, and he acted like very awkward around me. It was strange. So there was that. So there was some of my friends that I was close with in high school, and the last one that I was close with in high school, she I don't remember how we initially first met, but we were taking like the bus together each day and we're chatting a lot on a daily basis. We were playing Fire Emblem Fates together here, was the case. So like, I think I mentioned earlier this stream, that whole meme with, like, seek birth, seek freedom. Fairly certain she was the one that sent that to me. We played a lot of Fire Emblem Fates together. We were both big into Fire Emblem. And we did a whole lot of that since that was around that time. So we were pretty close there, but she was also a little bit unhinged at the time, let's say, and had a little bit of a bad habit of seeing the worst in people, and would sometimes be kind of pushing me around, and I would have a hard time telling, like, is this playful fun or is it genuinely meant to be mean? And there was a time that it seemed like she kind of developed a thing for me, asked me out. I said I don't feel the same, because I felt like, man, I'm gonna regret this down the line if I say yes, considering, like, this whole seeing the worst in people and kind of liking to bully and push people around. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna set myself up for a lot of pain later. And I probably made a good call there. And it felt like it wasn't all that long after that she started trying to ruin my life and spreading a lot of, like, just false rumors about me, and getting a lot of people that were in groups that I know to turn against me and think that I was, like, some awful piece of shit, when it's like, I'm just here. Like, a lot of the things were, like, I'm not a very actively social kind of person of, like, reaching out to chatting with everybody on a regular basis or anything like that. I'll reach out to someone when I have, like, some explicit reason to reach out to them, whereas she was more the kind of person of, like, yep, texting friends every day, and because I wasn't doing the same every day, she was feeling like she was putting a lot more effort into the friendship than I was, even though I was trying to constantly do things to, like, prove my friendship to her. Like, I remember she was big into Naruto and really liked the character Sasuke, so I spent, like, a weekend handcrafting, like, the headband of this character to give to her as a gift, like, stuff like that, where it's like I'd be trying to prove my friendship and stuff, but the message didn't really seem to go through, and she felt like she was committing to the friendship, whereas I wasn't, and was, like, spreading all these rumors about me, and that is probably one of the biggest contributing factors to my social anxiety that I still have today, is people kind of doing that. Yeah, I haven't done it. I'm sorry. But yeah, so there was that. And there were times where it's like, I blocked her number a couple times just to, like, give myself some space and let her cool down. And there were times that'd be, like, during summer break with some time away, where it's like, she would get other people to reach out to me, to tell me the message to unblock her, and then she'd just, like, say why I'm the most awful piece of shit ever again, and then I'd block her again. The weirdest situation was in the middle of some summer, where she was, we're just talking about, like, weird connections from high school here. Some of my weird situations. The weirdest situation when she was trying to ruin my life was when I had her number blocked, and I think it was in the middle of summer, like, we weren't seeing each other in school or anything like that at the time. And I get, like, some DM, some message, I don't even remember what platform it was on, from some kid that she apparently met while playing Fortnite in squads, that got roped into this whole mess, that asked me to pass on the message to unblock her because she had something really important to say, and I was like, oh, is this gonna be like an apology or something? No, she just wanted to talk more shit to me to my face, and, like, I was like, yeah, I'm not unblocking you again. About, like, 3 years or something passed, and I had heard from her, and she was like, wow, I really hate my old self for doing that. Like, it would mean a lot to me if we can just, like, be friends and stuff. And I was like, okay, but this is the last chance. And she's been fine since. Like, she's been A-okay. Like, we'll chat from time to time, is the case. But, yeah, we weren't exactly in contact for a long time. And nowadays, she lives on the other side of the province as well. This last summer, I gave her some raspberry plants. She's married now, apparently. I briefly met her husband while I was there. Seems like a nice guy. And, while we were there, things were a little bit awkward as well. It felt like after everything that had gone on and trying to catch up and stuff. But yeah, nowadays, like, she's matured a whole lot since then, like, is in a lot better place and looks back on that past and is like, wow, I can't believe that I was like that and don't like being reminded of that. I hope she doesn't tune into like these streams, because I've mentioned situations like that in Discord. She sometimes spends time around like the Discord. I'm not gonna be pointing any fingers of like, this is who this person is or anything like that. Like, that'd be incredibly disrespectful. But there have been times that people have described similar situations like the venting channel of Discord, and I'll recommend that. And she's DM me being like, would it be okay if you don't talk about that? Because I'm not really comfortable with it anymore. I kind of hate my past self and stuff like that. So hopefully she doesn't tune into these streams, and just, if you are, know that it's not like a malicious thing. This is just like past things that happened, and like we're cool nowadays. But I remember while I was there and chatting about things, it was kind of awkward silence for a decent bit of this visit, and it's just like, both kind of sitting, waiting for the other person to say something. So it's like, I kind of tried to fill the silence with other things that I was passionate about at the time and other things going on in my life. But I could tell that the conversation got to the point where the person, you know, like your conversation partner, is just saying yeah and nodding and not really all that interested in stuff like that. So I excused myself and headed home once it was very clear it was at that point. And then a few days later, she posted in the venting channel of the Discord server saying, like, venting her frustrations about when there's things that she really wants to say, but people just keep on talking and talking and talking, and it's all about them. And I'm like, not talking about me, is she? It was silence. You weren't speaking. I was thinking about reaching out to her and asking, like, is this what I think it's referring to? Because it's not the impression that I got. Like, you weren't really trying to add all that much yourself, but I never did, and just kind of left it on that awkward note where I'm just guessing, like, does she feel like I didn't give her the chance to speak, and now I'm just, like, very confuzzled and stuff. So that's that. We'll chat from time to time and stuff like that. She sent me a DM a few days ago asking if I would ever add a not safe for work channel to my Discord server. I said I would not. was the case. And she said fair enough. And that was our conversation a few days ago. But yeah, that's my 4 close connections from high school. So one is off doing who knows what and not really caring that I started a channel on the platform that he got me into. 2 got together with each other and are now like really weird around me anytime I see them at like a midnight release for some game. And the last one is that weird situation where it's like, we'll talk from time to time. But there's a little bit of air of weirdness, and I'm a little bit confused about what's going on there. But yeah, so that's all my high school connections. 7 years of university have gone by, and I don't really have any connections that I've kept. My group last semester that I did a game project together with, we've stayed like semi in contact, and wouldn't mind seeing about doing some gaming stuff together at some point. That was my group that I invited to the 24-hour charity stream 9, where it's like, yeah, maybe I should, like, we wanted to do group activities to get to better know one another, so it's like, hey, even though I've never really done this for people that I've only known for a couple months before, I'll invite them into, like, my sacred space here, my stream, and did that, and we played games and had fun, and maybe those will be connections that I keep, but we're all really busy during the semester, so we wanted to, like, do some multiplayer gaming stuff together, but it didn't really pan out because we're all busy with this, but maybe we'll follow up during the summer, and maybe year 7, my final year here, is when I'll finally keep some connections. We'll see. That'd be cool. But yeah, the first 6 years, I didn't really keep a single connection from university. I mean, situations like that can vary based on program. Like, my friends that have been in business have told me, like, oh yeah, everyone in business is like super close friends because those are going to be your business partners one day. Whereas like computing science is like, man, computing science is cutthroat, man. Everyone's just out there for themselves. That's what it feels like. But yeah, so yeah, and then I have like a small handful of the German bilingual group that I grew up with, where we'll chat maybe once or twice a year. We try to get together like once a year at least to catch up on everyone's lives and see where we're all at and all that. So I am very grateful to have that growing up of 14 years together with some people, where it's like we spent so much of our lives together that we know that we're there for one another if need be. Because yeah, my the close connections I had in high school didn't really pan out in quite the way that I thought it would coming out of high school. So yeah, there's that. So the whole like not really keeping friends after school, I feel like it's probably not exactly super uncommon, and I completely get that. You know, so that's my little story there. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed the tale there. But yeah, let's see here. Hold on, let's catch up on things here. Start with you talking about how you're the friend nobody likes, and you have no friends anymore. That led to this. Yeah, and this is a short story that I've talked about before sometimes. Like, someone mentions stuff like that, and it's like, hey, you're not alone. Like, I get you. I get it, is the case with having connections that you want to keep, and then it just not really panning out, or weird situations like that happening. And yeah. But yeah, shit, what you gave, yeah, that's the one. You would have not just said you just blew your last chance, so blocked. Yeah, I'm sure some people might have. But, damn, no, you want your Harmonia only fans. No, we're not doing an NSFW channel. I feel like that goes completely against the branding and kind of community tone that I want around here and stuff. But yeah, I didn't keep any connection from university either. It had some people where we worked well together, and we always had a fun time during class and projects and all that, but after all that was over, didn't really talk at all. Yeah, and yeah, I get that feel. Like, part of, when it comes to me with that, part of that is on me as well, is like, I didn't reach out, they didn't reach out to me. I've been making more efforts in recent years. I don't know if it's a similar thing for you, Carvia, where it's like just neither party reached out. Kind of sucks for that to happen because some of the people you met were genuinely super nice and fun to be around. Yeah, and that's what I felt with some of my classes as well, but felt like, with a lot of classes, it's like, I wouldn't mind following up on reaching out to them, but it would also feel like kind of really weird because it's like, we weren't close enough. We were just like, say, sitting by each other or something like that and big vibing. But like, I don't know. It kind of depends on the situation and stuff like that. One of the things that I tried to do as like a thanks for a cool group project and and a sign of good faith, and hey, maybe these people will vibe more as a group here and want to stay more in contact, is at the end of the semester for last semester with this game design group, I did a whole bunch of like 3D printing for my group, and I asked everyone their favorite games, and I did a bunch of 3D printing based off of that. So not everyone told me their favorite games, but everyone in the group played Fortnite, so I printed some Fortnite things for some people. Printed like a Fortnite coaster and like this sign that you could mount to a shelf. One person really liked Infamous Second Son, and I couldn't find many designs for it. There was a coaster, so I printed them like a coaster thingamabob for it. One of them liked CSGO, I think it's CSGO, and wanted a karambit knife. So I went hard on this karambit knife. I don't know if I ever took a picture of it, but I did like all these color changes to have like red blade with this line of black across it that actually looked really cool, and then like black handle with a little bit of dark blue at the top. I went hard on that thing. I actually made a really cool looking 3D printed karambit knife for him. Last group member, I think when she gave an answer of favorite game, I think she gave a joke answer of this, I think it's like some Facebook game, Heyday it's called. I think I still have some failed prints of the coasters around on my thingamabobs, or some ones that I tried to do later. Oh yeah, I still have one here. I guess this print sort of worked. I think she got like some failed prints, and then I tried to like do this later, and then I wanted to fix this up and then eventually give it to her, and then I never really got around to it. I mean, maybe after the semester's over and everyone has some time, and I can see about doing that, because I just have a spare coaster of a game that means nothing to me, just like sitting on this shelf that, you know, yeah. It's just been sitting here for months now. Oh man. So, yeah, there's that. I'm taking this off here, my jacket. So yeah, there's that. The only non-safe for work streamer you tune on? What, this stream here with only acoustics? No. Someone better be willing to pay me a lot of money if they want to do that. If someone wants to just like fund my truck restoration project or something like that completely, then hey, I'd say there's room for negotiation here. But otherwise, 1,000, I'd think about it at least. I would definitely think about it, because easy money. But Harmonia's favorite game, Heyday. Yeah, it's been that all along. That's my real favorite game this whole time. Man, this is going to be one of those really long parts, isn't it? With a lot of conversations here. Yeah, that's true. You also did not reach out. Also didn't help that you would also just go to the library in between classes instead of like socializing or stuff. Yeah, but like when it comes to socializing between classes, it's like, how do you do that, man? Like someone's just going studying on their own. What do you do? Just be like, hey, can I sit like right next to you and study? And then you start making small talk or something like that. I guess that might be a good approach. I don't know. Something like that. But I feel like nowadays, like even though the internet has made us more interconnected than ever before, like the amount of power that's comes with one of these things in your pocket, they've also made everyone kind of go into like their own little social bubbles a lot. Like you go on the train, for example, like that here, and it's just over half of the people are just on their phones. And the other half of the people are just like standing silently doing nothing and looking like they don't want to be bothered. And it's like, this would feel really awkward to just start talking to somebody, and I don't know if I can do it. There was a time I briefly did it, like in my early university days, where I was trying to make an effort to do that, and I felt really awkward to do so. In my efforts, it felt like most of the people that I did start trying to talk to, either on the train back then or in university classes here lately, where I've been trying to make small talk with people at the beginning of classes, like in my area. There are some people that are just like, why are you talking to me? But it honestly felt like most people actually did like having the opportunity to talk to somebody, but just wouldn't create the excuse themselves to do it. But someone presenting that excuse enjoyed it. So thinking about that, maybe I should make more of an effort to be chatting to people more, but I'm just constantly worried with social anxiety about like being a bother to people and like coming up to someone out of nowhere and talking to them and then being like, the heck are you doing? Especially if they're like right in the middle of something or like engrossed in something like their phone or some studies and I'm bothering them or whatever the heck. But when I think about my actual findings of early university trying to chat to people on the train and more recent university of trying to chat to more people in classes, it feels like a lot of people do actually like to talk with the opportunity to do so. I remember last semester, one of the classes that I took, it was like a lecture hall with like the multiple rows downward, and there was this one person behind me that like was there first. There wasn't anyone else around me at the time, so I turned around and I started chatting to her and asking like what she thought of like the class material and stuff here and why she's taking the class, and she was just kind of like the look of, why are you talking to me? But then like two other people came and sat by me, and I asked the same things, and they got really into the conversation. We became like a group of three there of chatting about things, and I bet the person behind me was real jealous at that point. Although like the seating arrangement didn't really stay the same, so I don't even remember those people's names anymore. So that wasn't exactly something kept, but been trying to make more efforts to be more extroverted and stuff like that by doing things like that. And it feels more comfortable in a class environment like that, where it's like, we're here and waiting to study anyway for this class. I feel like in early university, where I was trying to strike up conversations with the random strangers on the train, I was a little bit more adventurous back then. I feel like I'm not as much anymore, but maybe I should be. What stream did I show it? Was it a Fire Emblem Fate stream? I remember there was a time that I was talking about this sign that I used to keep. I don't even bring my backpack anymore. I bring a laptop bag to class. But there was a time that I literally crafted this sign that just sits in front of my computer now, where it's like, here's an opportunity to chat to people and chat to anyone that is interested in, that just wants to chat about things, that has something that they want to talk about, or something like some sort of issue that they have going on and they just want someone to chat to. And I started doing this. I was doing this for like a week, this sign that I had, where it's like inspirational quotes on one side and then like a whole bunch of positive words on the other side with this thingamabob that I crafted here. Spent like a weekend making this thing. And I did it for like a week. I had it out. I had one person talk to me who, it seemed like English wasn't their first language, and they were confused, like, what, do you want to know if I want someone to chat to, or do you need someone to chat to? And she thought that I was asking for help by having a sign out, and that made things really awkward. And a lot of people just kind of would walk by, look over, kind of snicker at it, or kind of laugh a little bit, and that made me feel like really bad about myself, and it really brought out my social anxiety, and I feel like that was one of the contributing factors to me feeling a little bit less adventurous nowadays. It's kind of the case. One of the people that saw that sign, though, is one of my German bilingual friends that was going through the halls on campus at the time, who I was just out at the lake this past weekend with, who saw me doing that sign, and he was really impressed that I was doing such a thing, and he was really commending me for it. Nowadays, he's teaching 5th grade, interestingly enough. Yeah, he thought that this sign that I was doing was like one of the coolest things. And he was on his way to meet up with some other people from grade school for lunch and invited me to come along as well. He was telling some of the people there, like, do you know what Jake's doing? He's doing this thing. And yeah, I think I had a lot more bravery to do that kind of thing then. But I kind of haven't whipped up my sign here for a good while. I mean, I still have it. It's not like I've thrown it out. I don't think I'd ever throw it out or anything. I could always take it along with me again at some point. Maybe as things are warming up, as spring is coming here or something. Maybe try to muster up the bravery to do it again, because yeah, I was only doing it for a little while. And I remember I was telling the story with this sign in some earlier stream. I don't remember if it was Fire Emblem Fates or if it was something else, but I remember a lot of people in stream at the time were saying like, dude, if I saw that sign, I would come and sit down and chat with you. That's really cool that you're doing that. So it's like, oh, well, maybe I should. I don't know. I have it here if the day ever comes. Yeah, yeah. So, but that was more of me doing like I try to do around here, where I say like, hey, if anyone needs someone to lend them an ear, like, I don't care if you're a longtime viewer or a recent lurker, if someone needs someone to lend them an ear, that's something that I try to make time for. Even if I can't always offer like great solutions, if someone just wants someone to be able to hear other problems, I try to make time for that. So that's me just trying to do that message that I send here, but in real life. But it's a lot more socially awkward doing so in real life. Because, I mean, like, I don't know how to describe it. It just feels so much different when I'm here behind a computer. And it's like, I'm sort of talking to people, but it also, my mind also semi-thinks I'm just talking to myself here. Like, there's this barrier, this separation that comes with the whole online format that you don't have in real life, that has probably made a lot of people like me more socially anxious in real life, where it's like, how do I deal with this in real life now? You know? Like, what the heck? Anyway, this has been a whole can of worms here. Sophie, I'm calling you out. Percy, what's gotten into you? My dragon, Ace, is super strong, but your horse, Avel, is pretty good too. You want to trade? Like for my ultra rare Charizard Ace here? I want to settle once and for all which of them is the better steed. Oh, interesting idea, Percy. You're on. Abel's a little too headstrong to listen to what I tell him. But when he's of a mind to, he's the fastest, strongest horse of them all. And my Ace is the best dragon there is. I'll make Abel look like a joke. How do we pit them against each other? I hate to have them fight. Why not just race them? Though Ace will be flying, so maybe that's not fair. Psh, that doesn't matter to us. When Abel gets up a good head of steam, he might as well be flying too. Yes, it's on now. Let's fly, Ace. Mount up, Abel. Hey, where's Ace? Oh, did I forget to bring him along with me today? Oh, wait, Abel, where are you going? That's the wrong way, Abel! Be right back. I'm gonna go get Ace. I've got to stop Abel. Oh, Abel, please wait. Wait for me! For a wyvern to a horse's mount, a wyvern is definitely cooler. But yeah, we will feel more real if you pay us. Pay it for the content here. So something your friend said, and quote it here, there's no such thing as pointless questions, just pointless answers. What, in terms of like reaching out to people with questions to make conversation, or like where's the context that you would apply this, that you feel that it's the most applicable there? But yeah, interesting conversation that this has ended up spiraling into on Valentine's Day of all things. Yeah, what a great day to talk about how I don't exactly have a whole lot of in-person connections nowadays. You know what? I do actually have something else that I can add to that now that I think about it. One of the a couple weeks ago, one of the Fragapalooza staff that I know invited me to this little birthday get-together that he was doing at this restaurant, and I was like, you know, I need to go to more social events, go into events like this with just strangers and like meet some new people and stuff like that. And there was this guy that I met there that we actually had a lot of things in common. We were able to connect over 3 things, like computers and programming that he does for a living and seems like really good at. Taekwondo. I'm a 3rd degree black belt. He's a 2nd degree black belt from another chain of schools that like I'm familiar with, because my master is good friends with the master of those schools. And vehicles and working on vehicles and stuff. So we ended up talking about like my Fargo and him working on his motorcycles and stuff like that. And we ended up chatting for like 3 or 4 hours. He was this Italian-Canadian guy. And that was really cool. And he's interested in helping out with my Fargo project. So that was an interesting opportunity of getting out of my comfort zone and seemingly making a new friend. That was cool. So that was a fun time there. But yeah, generally still not exactly a whole lot of in-person connections, I don't think. It doesn't feel like. And the ones I do is like very far and few between, kind of spending time with one another. But again, those ones I do have, it's like we've known them for over half our lives. So like we're pretty close to know that we're there for each other, and I'm very grateful to have those kinds of connections. But yeah, Valentine's Day is the perfect day for you to complain about how you're lonely. And yeah, I could go into detail about that, like, more in depth, but like that was also a little bit closer to home. I mean, if anyone's really interested in hearing about it, I'll consider talking about it, but otherwise I'll leave it as is. Since we're at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people could probably roughly put pieces together from what has been described thus far, but Mom, where are you? Mom? Like a kid lost in a grocery store here? Oh, I think she's this way. Hey, Valoria, what's up? Mom, there you are. Knew my nose wouldn't fail me in my time of need. Well, you got bullies to rout? Heavy books to lift? What can your mom do for you? Mom, may I have a hug? A big one, right now? Big hug, huh? You asked for it. If this was, like... I know that this is just, like, generic text to fit, like, any mother character, because it could be anyone. But realistically, if this was really with Effie, it would have been written so she just, like, crushes her kid. Mom, you smell so sweet. Just like a flower. But yeah, about how lonely you are, but you won't say no specifically, but that's what you need to do. I have to ask, was your redeemed weapon name now named? You have to remind me what it is, and then I can tell you. I know I briefly talked about it during, Tales of Arise, I think. Because there was a part of Tales of Arise's story that I thought was, like, really relatable, but I talked more about it generally in terms of, like, connections in general rather than, like, relationships or anything like that. What I'd have thought I'd smell like after a workout. This was lore accurate and Vel would be dead, yeah. And now that we're going down this line, I'm debating about talking about it anyway, because the streams and playthroughs and stuff that I do here are basically the closest things that I have to, like, a journal or anything like that, and I sometimes like being able to talk about stuff like this to be able to look back on years down the line and be like, oh, so that's what was going on in my life around that point. And all that. Because, yeah, this is kind of how I keep track of, things there. What's Vel's canon mother? I don't think she has one. Don't think that there is a canon one. But yeah, so sometimes I like to talk about stuff that's going on when, when I'm streaming, just to be like, hey, this is documenting this part of my life. Archiving in a way is part of the series that I've done. Sometimes if it's something that's really uncomfortable for me, I'll sometimes wait until, like, it's the middle of the night and I think that there's almost no one watching. Like, I remember a few years ago when my Oppa passed away and I wasn't feeling all that great about that. And, like, my mood with streaming and stuff was still a little bit down, but I wanted to keep on streaming because it's what I have joy doing. I kind of it was Assassin's Creed Rogue at the time, I remember. I kind of waited until I thought that there was, like, no one really watching the stream anymore, like, late in the morning, and then I just talked about it and just, like, got all these thoughts off my chest. I think someone came in, like, halfway through of me rambling about that, and then that felt kind of awkward, but that happened. But it's good to be able to express those kinds of thoughts sometimes rather than just bottling them up. But yeah, a lot of the time I'll just be like, yeah, let's just wait until, like, no one's here in some series that probably no one watches, and then it'll just be me watching it down the line and reflecting on that. So that's something I've done sometimes. But you've got the expert nose. I'm getting sleepy just being in your arms, Mom. Poor little thing tuckered herself out. Let your mama carry you to bed. Let's get through these supports first, at least. Mom, don't go anywhere. I want to stay with you forever. Too bad this is classic mode where that could change. Don't worry, kiddo. Mama's in no hurry to go anywhere. I love you, Mom. Okay, so this is the last one here, I think, right? Have a canonical mom, but you like to think it's Camilla because Vel's just as much of a cuddle monster as Camilla. Bro, his journal, day 67. Today fucking sucks and Twitch chat is bullying me even though I'm still talking to them. And they're bullying me even more saying all of this. Yeah. And now they're demanding pay and they're threatening to unionize. Daddy. Oh, Valoria. Sometimes I can't tell if you're a wolfskin or a giant barnacle. You smell good, Daddy. Stop. That tickles. No, stop squirming. You're making it hard to catch your scent. Come on, Valoria. Get off already. Sulk. You're relentless, you know that. If you're gonna be that mean to me, I'll just throw away the present I got for you. Present? For me? It's a hairball from a rare beast. Not something you see every day. Wow, no way! And I can have it? Gimme! If you want it, you know my price. A pound of flesh? Okay, fine. Go ahead. Sniff me all you want. That's what I wanted to hear. Hairball is all yours. Sounds a lot like Rick and Morty Rick, I assume that means. I've never seen the show before. The image that I have in my head is Metal Gear Rising Raiden. Is like the tone I'm trying my best to match that I imagine Keaton being kind of like, but I don't know. That's what I wanted to hear. The hairball is all yours. Now then. So young, but she already knows just how to play me. I've only seen like smidges of cutscenes of the game. I've played Metal Gear Solid 2, where you play as Raiden, and I quite like that game. But, his tone is more like this in Metal Gear Solid 2, where he sounds like that more annoying teen protagonist kind of voice that you hear sometimes in video games. And then when he gets to Metal Gear Rising, it's kind of like this, from like the smidges that I've seen in that. So like puberty hit Raiden like a friggin' truck, I guess. When it comes to, I'm really looking forward to playing that game when we get that far in the Metal Gear series. That game looks awesome. So young, but she already knows just how to play me. All right, that's all the support conversations and stuff here. I have some reclassing stuff that I can do here. I can just do this for now. And then I was gonna reclass you after you became best friends with Kana, which I can't even do for a hot second yet, so maybe I'll just leave you on this for now. Top tier voice actor. Oh man. Wow, eyes. I do really like the look of Wolfsignor here with like the black aesthetic. Let's face it, black clothes are cool. I don't know if I'm big on the actual transformed design of the werewolves in this game. I mean, what are my other options right now? I mean, I could get skills like Luna if I'm in that for a little bit, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to level up in Swordmaster, I think. So yeah, just chill in this for now. Put these away. You can grab the this, and you can use that sometime later. You already have a beast rune. I'm going crazy. And then I was probably gonna reclass my unit to Dark Knight, something like that. Is what I think I was gonna do real quick here, and then get like some Life Taker to pass down, and then we can reclass back after level 15 to Nor Noble here and get Nor, and then reclass into a whole bunch of different things to get skills and stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, Werewolf form looks like a Wendigo. I don't actually know what a Wendigo is. Can't ban us all unionize. It's going crazy. Time to see the boosted meter. Only a third boosted. His card was over 2/3 boosted. Over a whole 11% more. Crazy, man. Alright, I'm Dark Knight now. Down goes my speed a little bit. Alright. Doesn't really matter if I deposit this, considering I can access the convoy at any time, so it doesn't make any difference. Look at me! Whee! Alright, I'll level up on this to level 15, I guess. I have a whole army of riders here. So, do we want to have this as the continuing soundtrack? I'm getting tired of this. Where's, like, my DVD stream playlist? Hold on. Because I think it's story time, I guess. Because, like, it's the kind of thing that I have thought about talking about on stream before, but I figured if I ever would just be, like, late at night, some kind of thing, or maybe sometime, like, many years in the future about, like, back then, it was, like, so-and-so, so-and-so, but, this is the topic now. So this is what we're, guess this is what we're doing. Here, let's put my DVD stream playlist on shuffle. That's some chill tunes. I'm getting tired of hearing this theme. Eternal Forest remix by Kamix, and then things on shuffle and stuff, and then I'll do this. I said do This. Am I not muting it? Am I muting like a different Citra? Hold on, pause. Pause. Muting it in the volume mixer does nothing. Wow, that's never happened to me before. Weird. Alright, I guess I'm pausing. I guess I'm doing that. Whoops, I did not mean to open this PC. That was a mistake. Back in my day, I was fucking lonely. Yeah, that was what my plan was just do something like that. But now that this is the topic, I guess this is what we're doing. 83% printed on the thingamabob there. Cool. So there's an edited version of this story that if I ever do a video essay on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I have a script kind of put together for if I have the time to make one. I would like to, because I think the Kieran story is really fascinating. Trust me, this is relevant here. And in that, I kind of draw parallels to how it can be really easy to have a mindset like Kieran, where it's like really trying hard, but then failing, and then like blaming yourself for the world. And I relate that to Taekwondo's story, the story of me trying to get 3rd degree black belt, where I tell like a kind of version of the story, but not quite the full story, if I do ever make that into a full video, where I got my 1st degree black belt when I was 12 years old, 2nd degree when I was 16, and then I started testing for 3rd degree when I was 19. Yeah, Kieran is literally me. So I started testing for it, and they always make you do a technical breaking, which is like a technique-based thingamabob. 1st degree, it's like jump, punch one way, kick the other way. 2nd degree, it's jump and then kick 2 ways. Not quite like a split kick. It's side kick one way and front snap kick the other way, so sideways one and up on the other. And then on 3rd degree, it's scissor round. So do that again, but then add a 3rd one afterwards with the side kicking leg. So there's the technical kick that gets harder each time, and then there's a power back kick that gets harder each time, where they literally take like a stack of boards that you need to break in one kick. And a person can't hold that while you shatter through all, like while you apply force through all that. So there's like a whole contraption that they set up at the front of the dojang on the support pillar for the building that holds them all in place backed against the pillar, and you have to break boards. When I was 12, they had me break a stack of 3. When I was 16, they had me break a stack of 4. And then when I was going for 3rd, if I was still like 18 or 17 or something like that, some sort of age range, they would have had me doing 5. But because I was an adult at that point, they had me doing 6. And 6 is apparently the most that they ever have anyone do, considering one of the 4th degrees that was previously at the dojang, when people asked him how much he had to do, he was like 6 again. And they're like, what do you mean again? Wouldn't they have you do 7? It's like, no, it gets to a point where it's just darn near impossible, so they just have me do 6 again. So yeah, faced with literally the highest difficulty level that they set for anyone there, and it was a decent bit of stress and worry for me. And I never really thought all that much about or felt all that much like needing a desire for like any relationships or anything like that before that point. But when I was first standing in front of that contraption holding like yay thick of a solid chunk of wood for me to snap through, and being presented with this challenge and feeling like time was slowing down and all these eyes are on me, and thinking about like how so many other people have gone up and faced these various challenges and had someone there to support them and cheer them on and want them to be able to surpass this challenge, and I didn't really there and felt very isolated in that moment. I was kind of struggling to draw out my full power, and I didn't quite do it. I failed it at the time, and that's when I started to feel like really isolated and alone, and I'm like, I care about this now. Like that was my moment of doing that. And I, at the same time, was developing some wrist injuries that weren't all that great and some hip issues that got me stuck in physiotherapy for half a year. And then right when I started feeling like I was getting better, COVID started, and then my training was very on and off. So that was all over the place. But during the times that I was training, even training on like a kicking bag, I felt like I couldn't draw out my full power. Like I would try to give it my all, and I would only hit it with like maybe 80-85% at the very most in terms of what I knew I was capable of. maybe 85% in terms of like when I'm actually in front of the boards and the adrenaline is rushing, maybe closer to 75 on the bags there, where it's like I'm trying to get myself in the mental state and do it, but there's just something holding me back, is what it was. Yeah, it probably was. I know that the wrist thing was like very early on in the channel days, because there's some early playthroughs that I have where I have like a wrist wrap on. I still keep some braces around and still wear them from time to time if they cause me issues, because never fully healed or anything like that, and it probably never will. And same with my hips, honestly. Like, I'll train a little bit slower now sometimes and need to excuse myself to the side of class, stretch out my hip, and then come back in if they cause me issues, so that happens from time to time. Also, I can turn this off. Don't need that there. So, yeah, that was going on at the time, and my training was very on and off. But even when I was training, it felt like I couldn't quite give 100%. Like, there was some sort of a mental block there. And I'm the kind of person that really struggles to motivate myself to do things for myself. But if I'm doing something for someone else, it's like, oh, heck yeah, get me in there. I'll do that. That'll be awesome. Like 3D printing a Master Sword here to send across the ocean and stuff. Or figuring out some other cool prints here that I want to, one, send some across the ocean, and two, bring some with me down to the south to give to my friends that live down there, stuff like that. Like, I motivate myself a lot better when it's doing things for others. And I was like, maybe that's the key to drawing out my full strength, is just having those there to, like, cheer me on, like someone that I'm doing it for, that, like, genuinely wishes for me to see these challenges of my life through, and who I can help support to help them see the challenges of their life through, have that kind of support for each other and stuff like that. So, yeah, I started feeling that, and because I'm really socially anxious and all that, and don't really know / feel comfortable how to just be approaching people or anything like that, it was around that time that I started frequenting things like dating apps, which I'm still on here and there on the side to this day. It's gone nowhere. Like 5 years later here, half a decade has passed. So there was that. One story that I know for sure that I've never told on stream is about a year ago, something like that. There was one person that I started chatting to on one for a while after seeing that one of her favorite games was Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and then like our first conversation being like Elder Scrolls Oblivion NPC speak, which I thought was really funny. Was the case. And there was a Kurzgesagt thing at the time that was all about like social connections and all that. And at the end of their video, they said like, hey, we're opening a Reddit page for the next few months where you can hone in on your area and try to organize like meetups for different people to do activities with and such. And I was planning on going to Comic-Con at the time in like my full N cosplay and stuff. And so I made a post on that Reddit forum and just like, hey, anyone want to meet up there? And I did actually end up meeting like a decent like group of people from that. Never stayed in contact with any of them. But this one girl that I had met on a dating app at the time, I had said like, hey, like we've been chatting for a couple weeks here. I'm going to this thing anyway. Would you like to come along? And she said, sure. And that's like where we initially met and hung out at this event in like a group of strangers, all kind of getting to know one another. So it was an interesting first meeting kind of thing. And started like going out on some things together. And when asking about like, hey, what kind of things are you looking for in a relationship, one of the things that she had told me was like, it was something that I thought I wanted for a long time, but now I'm not really sure, but hey, I'm down to like still keep on going and doing things and stuff like that. Which I realize in hindsight was just a way to say like, it's something I'm interested in, but not with you, is the case. So for 6 months, 7 months, something like that, going out doing different activities and stuff like that, and in what my neighbor called a situationship when talking about that with her, and like it was the kind of thing where it seemed like we were sort of clicking, also sort of not really, like it wasn't like a lot of chemistry or anything like that, but I was just kind of excited that anyone was willing to just go do things with me, is the kind of state that I was in at that point. So I was just kind of happy about that. At at the time. And one of the interesting things that was found out towards the end there was... how do I lead into this story? There's a whole nother story attached to this story. Should I just start that other story and how it leads into it? I guess so. So, as a kid, I, only child, didn't have any siblings, and the closest thing that I had to a sibling in my life was the daughter of my mom's best friend. The same one that has Lily there that I had on the dog cam just last week. That household there, who was 3 years younger than me, and we spent, our moms spent a lot of time coming together and visiting with each other for like a glass of wine and just catching up on things. And so, like, we'd be seeing each other a lot and playing a lot of video games together. The game that we played the most together was probably Minecraft, where, like, even when we're not there in person, we'd be playing, like, on a server together and doing all sorts of stuff up until, like, junior high school, something like that. Until the day came that I still to this day have no idea what exactly happened with her, but she became very much a recluse. Anytime that her mom was coming over here, she just did not want to come over anymore. Had no interest in doing that. She kind of locked herself away in her room, from what I heard. Stopped really attending school all that much. Started failing her classes, and her mom needed to hire a tutor. That didn't really seem to help all that much. I don't think she graduated high school at the time. I think high school was something that she went and, like, finished sometime later. And then, like, I didn't see her for a very, very long time. And then she was like, I'm just gonna get out of here completely, and moved to, I think it was the UK first, and then to Australia, and then back to the UK. Like, all over the place there, where there was, like, relatives and stuff. I saw her briefly before she moved away, and it was, kind of a little bit awkward because we hadn't seen each other for a long time, and that was also a situation that didn't exactly help my mental state all that much either, because it's like, I wanted to be, like, a good supportive sibling-like figure, but felt like, I don't know, like, it wasn't my place to reach out for help with that kind of thing, what kind of issues that she was going through, because she wasn't even opening up to her mom about whatever stuff that was going on that had her locking herself away. Like, it was, and if she wasn't even opening up to her mom about that, then, like, I doubt that she would have to me, but I still kind of felt like a slight level of self-blame as a potential sibling-like figure. And I remember, like, I would just hear updates throughout the years about what was going on with her. I remember my mom mentioned at one point that she joined, like, some program for either only children or people that are just looking for other sibling-like figures to be able to do stuff with. And I remember feeling at the time, like, a little bit saddened that I wasn't reached to about that. Like, hey, I kind of already thought about us like that. And she went and joined a program to find someone that might be interested in doing that with her. So felt a little bit sad about that, and like, oh, maybe we weren't as close as I thought we were. And that felt a little bit odd there. But yeah, also I should probably catch up here before I get too carried away. I was doing dating, but yeah, kind of at the point of going to dating apps, although you kind of already know what they want of it, though. I mean, you're fine with that if that weren't all it was. I mean, I can describe what the average experience on that is kind of like, and why it's kind of the most awful thing ever. But I mean, hello, Super Hyper. We're in, like, venting time, and all sorts of stuff being divulged here. It kind of reminds you of your experience when a few months ago weren't feeling too good in your law class and felt people were hoping for your downfall. Kind of wish that you didn't exist, literally had your mental breakdown, but thankfully a friend helped you through and helped you realize that you're no better than who you are. But your friend told you should just continue being you, good old as a sandwich. And yeah, that's all anyone can do. Like, I have had a social anxiety for a long time of worrying too much about what people think about me. But in more recent years have come to the decision of, like, yeah, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be, like, my passionate self. Some people won't vibe with that. That's fine. I'll make better connections with those who do, is what I figure. But maybe it was something like that going on for her at the time. I don't know. Don't know what was going on exactly, but it wasn't something that I was privy to in terms of knowing what really was going on there. So yeah, she kind of locked herself away and didn't really do a whole lot for a long time and seemed like really depressed and stuff, but then eventually moved away. And we weren't really in contact after she had initially kind of locked herself away starting in junior high school. So we definitely weren't really in active contact after she moved away. This is where it ties into the situationship that I was in. So me and her were chatting at one point, the one that I was in the situationship with. No, wait, she just reached out to me out of nowhere, I think it was, and was like, do you know so-and-so, being the name of this other person? And I was like, I know a so-and-so who lives on the other side of the planet. She was like, oh my god, you're the same person. And it turns out that these two went to high school together, at least. It might have been junior high school as well, but I'm fairly certain it was high school, at least. Maybe it was both. I don't remember. Apparently they had known each other for a long time. And she had sent me screenshots of this, person that I considered like a sibling figure across the ocean of her chats with her, being like, oh yeah, Jake? Yeah, I've known him literally all my life. Which I was kind of surprised that she would say about me, considering she kind of didn't really know me for that second half, but sure, that's apparently what she said. And I was like, wow, that's like really surprising and stuff. And so we were chatting about that a little bit, and like I'm the kind of person that usually doesn't like immediately open up. I need to get comfortable with someone and stuff like that. And like we had known each other for like half a year at this point, and I realized that there was this situation with this person that I'd seen kind of like a sibling figure that still kind of weighs on me at times. And I was like, hey, like now I'm feeling comfortable. I just kind of want to get this off my chest, and like I feel safe sharing that since it's something that I haven't shared with a whole lot of people. So I started doing that and being like, hey, this is the situation that went on, because I thought she might be interested to hear, considering this is someone that she's known for a long time, apparently. And I was like, yeah, this is this situation that went on, and how like we used to be close in our younger years, but then kind of drifted apart later on, and there was all this stuff going on. I wish I could do more to help. And I was starting to vent there, and then that's when I was hit with the, yeah, we gotta just be friends. Like in the middle of my vent, in the middle of me feeling comfortable enough to share this story with someone who might genuinely care about it, I figured, because of it being someone that she knew. And that's when I was hit with the, yeah, just started a new job like a couple weeks ago, and been really vibing with one of my coworkers, and started seeing him, and he knows that I'm also going out with you, and he's not comfortable with that, so we gotta just be friends. I was like, okay, like what a time to drop that. And I guess also clearly didn't really seem all that interested in staying friends, because there hasn't really been much, like, any follow-up after that time. Yeah, that's like the worst timing ever. But, like, and here's the conspiracy theory. Because that was like right after there was the established connection of those two knew each other and they both knew me, was that really what was going on? What she described of like meeting and vibing with a coworker? Or was there some sort of gossip going on behind the scenes about me between those two? And that's what convinced her, like, yep, for sure, no way. Like, maybe she was asking this person across the ocean there about me, and, like, I've thought that I've been nothing but, like, good and kind, but I don't know what kind of impression this other friendo has of me at this point. And, the fact that it was so soon after that was just kind of like, huh, what exactly were these two talking about, I wonder. So, like, I don't know if there was any gossip being shared or anything that was going on there, but it seemed very sudden afterwards, and made me really wonder what this other friendo thought about me. And that also became a little bit more awkward when this last Christmas that friendo across the ocean was briefly visiting, like, home here, and came over with her mom once. So we were catching up many years later. And things were really kind of odd, the atmosphere, it felt like. Like, for one, that topic of this one that I was in a situationship with did not come up at all. She did not bring it up. I didn't bring it up. I thought for sure she might bring it up, but she never did. So that was kind of, I don't know. I thought it was kind of odd. And one of the things going on around here within our little group of friends and family is out at the place where Lily's owner there, this friendo's mom, lives. used to have a cat, and the cat did not get along with the other critters of the household. So she would always have to be like, all right, the cat is out, all the other animals are away. All right, Lily and the other doggies are out, the cat is away, and alternate between the two of them. And just a whole management nightmare there. And it's when she was dealing with all this that my Opa had semi-recently passed away at the time a few years ago, and my Oma was really struggling with loneliness being there on her own, and she really wanted to get an animal in the household. So it worked out that the cat went to go live at my Oma's place. And that cat is now like the king of that place, like absolutely controls things, has my Oma trained, knows when to get treats and stuff like that. But yeah, the cat now lives there, but that cat was the cat of this friendo that now lives on the other side of the planet that she couldn't take with her when she moved over there. So I'd asked her if she wanted to go see her cat. It was only a 10-minute drive. We could go out there and go see her cat. So that's what we ended up doing while our mums were visiting. We hopped in my car and drove over to my Oma's place, and like she got to see her cat, and we hung out there for a little bit, and we're chatting with my Oma as she was asking her a bunch of questions. My Oma to her, that is, while she's interacting with her cat. But like the drive, talking on our own, it felt like a kind of atmosphere of awkwardness, like kind of acquaintances that don't really know each other super well, and it was kind of weird. On the way home, because right in between my house and my Oma's house is my cousin's place where I'm working on my 1953 truck, which I think personally is like the coolest thing I own. And so I told her on the way back, like, hey, there's this vehicle project I'm working on of like my antique truck that's on the way home anyway. That's something really meaningful to me that I've been working on for a long time. If it's something that you would like to see. The answer was no. So I was like, okay. And as we were chatting about things there, started chatting a little bit about some vehicle stuff there, and like I'd asked if she was driving since I knew that she wasn't during her time here, and apparently still doesn't have a license, doesn't even have like a learner's license or anything like that. So I was telling her, like, you know, that's kind of an important thing to have, like both as a form of ID and also because you never know like when you might need to drive. And she just kept on assuring me that it's not needed at all. Like over in Europe there, can take public transit anywhere, never gonna need a driver's license. And I was like, well, what if you travel somewhere where you might like to get a rental car? And she was like, oh no, I've traveled all sorts of places, I've never needed it. And it's like, well, not every place is like that. And just kind of I don't want to say that it got heated, but I was trying to, there's a part of me that still kind of tries to see myself as like an older sibling figure that's just trying to like look out for her and do the best for her. I don't think she really likes me doing that though. And it kind of ultimately ended in her snapping at me saying, well, that's my problem, not yours. It's like, excuse me, who just chauffeured you to go see your cat because you don't drive? Who chauffeured you, your mom, here to this little gathering in the first place? She never thanked me for that, by the way. Like, not at all. I took her on that drive to go see her cat and back. Never got a thanks for that at all. Just told when I told her that it's probably not a half bad idea to be able to drive yourself. Got met with that's my problem, not yours. So, like, it's not your issue to deal with. When, yes, it is, because me, your mom, and anyone else that's driving you anywhere, that's a problem that you could have solved that now we have to solve for you. And I didn't snap or anything like that, but there was a part of me that got, like, really irked by that comment, because it's like, wow, the irony is lost here, and that it literally is my problem. Man. So, yeah, there was that, and then, literally you and your sister drove back to your house where there was this air of awkwardness and didn't talk at all. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like. We weren't talking all that much, and then the chat that we did end up having ended up becoming that. And then, like, during the group thingamabob there with both of our mums, it felt kind of like a group conversation where it's like messages aren't really being directed to each other, but they are just like part of the group. Wah. And we're just kind of only knowing each other through association in the group. and it felt kind of really awkward and weird. So yeah, I really don't know what she thinks about me nowadays, and I don't know what she told this person that I was in this situationship with for a while when they found out that they both knew me, but she seemed really, really weird around me, and I was just kind of like, what did I do? I don't know. So yeah, so that kind of had me feeling a little bit down for a while, but then I was like, well, I might not really have this sibling figure anymore, but I have my cousin's 2 kids that are basically like little siblings to me, and I have a good friend in Germany that lived here for several months when I was younger. Finn is his name. Anyone that saw the Fragapalooza streams may have seen him during that for Fragapalooza 2023. He was here doing some gaming stuff for a little while. He's kind of like an older sibling to me as well. So like, that was a good lesson in focusing more on what I have rather than what I lost there. But yeah, that's that whole tied situation of this situationship and this friendo that I grew up with for a while, both of which were very awkward and weird, and I wonder like if I did anything to slight either of them, or if that happened in conjunction with them sharing stuff about me, and it had me racking my head being like, what is going on? What am I thought about here? So yeah, that for a little while didn't exactly do great things to my mental state, and the person that I was in that situationship with is to date the only person that I've ever met from a dating app in over 5 years of using them. So there's that. But yeah, no, best guess would be she doesn't see you as a sibling, rather something else. Yeah, I would guess so. I remember before she left on the trip to the other side of the planet, like many years ago, I had told her during her last visit over here, like, if you ever need any help from me, like, know that I always saw you as a sibling figure, so like, if you ever need anything that I can do to help, just let me know. And she just met me with, oh, never realized you ever saw me like that. And that was the end of that conversation then, many years ago. And then this visit this past December, while she was here, when she was saying farewell, my Oma, that I don't think she's ever even met before, got a hug goodbye. My mom got a hug goodbye. I got a, well, see ya. So, yeah, there was, I don't even know. I really don't. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah, those are kind of tied stories there, you could say. But yeah, in terms of dating app kind of stuff, like, whenever you look into any of the stats there, it is a complete oversaturation of men compared to women. So, like, the chances of getting any matches are, like, very slim for men, especially if you don't pay for, like, any premium services or anything like that. And the way these various services work is that you only get, like, so many likes a day, for example. And, like, once you've swiped so many, then it's like you're cut off for the day. And it'll tell you, like, you have so many people who have liked you, but we're not going to tell you who they are unless you pay for our premium services. And you can go through, like, all the likes that it allocates for you day after day after day after day. And very rarely will any of them be one of those ones that have already liked you. Like, you think that sometimes they would be, like, in that pool that they're showing you. Very rarely will that be the case. So it's very much a slot machine there if you're not paying for it. Of, will the people that I even have a chance of matching with be in this group that I'm looking through? Probably not. And that kind of thing isn't exactly great for, like, self-esteem when you're going through, like, so much of that on a regular basis and just seeing, like, nothing out of it. Like, I've come to terms nowadays with, like, yeah, these are the stats. I realize that it's rigged in, like, this really awful system, like, that I only continue to use a little bit on the side because it's, like, I realize that because of social anxiety and being like, how the heck do I even approach people in real life? I don't want to bother them, and that just doesn't feel right and all that stuff. I keep on using it even though I realize that it's probably not a great thing to do. So a little bit of a self-destructive pit there. But yeah, that's that situation. And yeah, it's still kind of unchanged after, like, the 5 years now. The way that this story started was with my testing for 3rd degree black belt 3 years ago now. and trying to surpass that power back kick especially. That was the one that I was struggling with. And I've tried to restructure the way that I hold my self-worth and like my drive to be able to complete those. In the years since, I later, about a year and a half ago, managed to complete my scissor roundhouse kick of the 3 kicks in the air. I have a video of that one. That one's recorded. When my cousin's 2 kiddos were spectating, and I was like, I'm doing this for them. That's what I'm doing, and I was able to really nail that kick. I wasn't able to do my power back kick then. That still took me another, like, close to a year. I did that one late last summer, like September or something like that. I don't remember. I have the broken boards in the other room there still. But when I was going for power back kick, the way that I tried to structure my mindset was, instead of focusing on, I need someone there to be able to draw out my full power that, like, I have a relationship with or whatever the heck. There was a time several years before that I tried to restructure it to, if I surpass this kick, that'll prove me worthy of earning that thing that I want. Like, of a relationship is the way that I structured it for a while. But when I finally did it, the way that I structured my mindset was, fuck it, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because this is something that I want, because it's something that is personally meaningful to me in my own journey here. And I was able to do it, but my power still wasn't 100%. I guess I still just hit it like dead on, and with enough power that that force was able to go through and break them all. And like, if I do eventually make a Scarlet and Violet DLC essay, it'll just be like, yeah, I tried to go for this testing, I got injured, I was held back for a little while, I was kind of like Kieran, blaming like the world and myself and really down on myself for a little while, but eventually I accepted that this journey is going to be a little bit slower for me, and eventually I did it. And that's the structure of the story if I make a Scarlet and Violet DLC essay, that I'll tell it. But what the truth is that a lot of it stemmed from that whole desire to be doing it for someone else. And even when I did it, it wasn't 100% power. Like, I was still lacking. Like, when I broke it, I was surprised that I broke it. I was looking at the ground for, like, all the pieces. Like, is any one of them still a solid board? Like, did I not break any of them? Because that happened to me once before. I once broke 5 out of 6, which is darn near impossible, because usually you break all of them, none of them, or, like, 2. 5 out of 6 is, like, unheard of. So I thought for sure it was something like that again, but nope, it broke. But I know it wasn't all my power. And I don't know if there's, like, some sort of a mental blockade still. If there's still the same solution of, like, if I'm just doing it for someone else, then maybe I can do it. Or what. But, like, I'm glad that I passed it and I achieved this milestone in my life 5 years later. Started testing when I was 19, passed it when I was 24. But I know for sure that that was not 100% of my power. There was still part of me being held back. And I haven't figured out how to get past that mental barrier. Like, I know when I was 19 and testing for it, I was giving it 100%. I just wasn't, like, right on target, and therefore didn't break it and even injure my foot in a couple ways by doing that. But, like, my power behind it was 100%. Doing it more recently here, like, I hit it, and it's like, I know that that's not what my body's capable of, and I don't really understand what's holding me back. And yeah, so that's still going on there. But yeah, after 5 years of, after initially staring down that set of boards and being like, huh, I think this is something I want to pursue now, and using various different apps and stuff like that, it's gone absolutely nowhere except for this one situationship that just had me questioning myself even more, and even questioning what this friendo that I thought I'd never see again thought of me, and became that whole complicated situation, and it's very odd. So yeah, that's my go of things, and yeah, very much. But yeah, let's see here. But yeah, thank you for now changing your mind to not use dating apps when you graduate from high school. Probably a good idea. Good old bar and drinks for you. Are people still doing that for trying to meet people? I know on my campus there's a couple bars there. I've never tried to, like, go into a bar and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink or anything like that? Like, it also just doesn't really seem like the kind of thing I do because I don't drink. It's funny, on my 18th birthday when I could drink, that's legal age here in Canada, I spent 10 hours in a bar working for my dad's contract brewing company at the time. I didn't have any alcohol. Never had any interest in it. But yeah, have you had people who are only interested in the pump and dump, what, like hookups and stuff? Because yes, I see that a decent bit of the time. And that I just say like, I don't think we're looking for the same thing. Sorry. And, you know, cut things off is what goes on, if that's what you're referring to as like hookup kind of culture and stuff. Because yeah, not interested in it. But yeah, quite the character arc though. Hopefully enjoyed it. But yeah, I know that some people really like that culture of like, hey, let's just use this to, there's like a fruit fly in here or something. Oh no, maybe it's a, I don't know. Like in Fragapalooza 2022, my co-commentator, who was the friendo that I'd met at Fragapalooza 2019, my doubles partner that year, Crash, he went by. He was telling me a little bit about that. And, like, apparently on those kinds of apps, if you're considered, like, a popular user, you're shown a lot more. And apparently he's a popular user, because apparently that was something that he was really big into, was just, like, the whole hookup one-night stand kind of thing with all sorts of people that he's matching with and stuff there. And ended up talking about this situation and like my use with those kinds of things and it not really going anywhere. And he was just like, oh dude, you gotta read this book, it like changed my life. And he recommended me a book called The Game by Neil Strauss. And he sent it to me in a PDF and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll check it out if I get the chance. And I did actually take the time to read it. And it's about this guy that like was really down on, like, it's a true story. It's like a story that someone wrote about his own life from like semi-recent times here. About this guy that was like really down on himself and like, I was about to say and depressed, but it's like that's what down on yourself kind of means. And lonely. And he was like, hey, I'm gonna see about getting involved with this world of like dating gurus and stuff like that. Which anyone who's been on the internet and heard about that kind of thing knows that it's like the kind of thing that you typically avoid. But he got involved with that and he started getting really, really roped into it in the various different strategies that people were using to try to get people interested in them and like the social engineering that these gurus and stuff were doing. So he started trying to go to a whole bunch of different gurus and pick up everything he could from like all those different guys, which they didn't like because they wanted to get like exclusivity and stuff like that. But he did that and became like really adept at it himself. And along with some friends opened like his own business out of that, where they rented like a specific place and were doing that as a side business where they would be taking on students to do that kind of thing. And as he was doing these kinds of things and getting things like one night stands from all these techniques that he's doing to try and make himself as interesting as possible, he was finding that he was respecting people less. Like, as he's using, like, the exact same copy and pasted routines that he's doing, he's finding that they're working every time. It's like he's getting less respect for his fellow humans when they're working each time. And the people that he's interacting with are, like, slowly losing their humanity to him, and he's starting to have, like, his doubts about it. And then as all these, students are trying to copy him, they're not even trying to like build off of him and adopt their own styles or anything like that. They're just straight up copying like exact routines, like step by step by step. And then he sees around the town that he's doing these lessons at that like everyone's just being like little clones of him, and that everyone in town is getting super annoyed with it, being like, why the heck is everyone asking these same questions? It's so annoying, like what the heck? And then he was just like, wow, this sucks, I should not have done that. Like, I shouldn't have done, like, these scripted routines that just fake who I am. I should have just been myself from the get-go. And that's basically what the lesson at the end of the book is like, hey, I'm leaving this life behind me. I'm just gonna go out and be myself and see what comes of it. Not do, like, any scripts, any routines, just go out and be me and stuff like that. And nowadays, apparently, the guy has, like, all sorts of different, like, sites and counseling things that are all about, like, self-help and inspiration, self-worth and stuff like that. I think that that's really cool. But from what I've heard online about that book, apparently a lot of people in the sphere will look at that like a gospel, like, these are the techniques to use to like get people interested in you and follow that like step by step. Whereas if you read the whole thing, it's like, that's not the lesson of the book. The lesson of the book is to be yourself at the end. Which I found really interesting. It was actually an interesting read. But I feel like my my partner there, Crash from Frag, might have been one of those people that just kind of looked at it for the techniques that were in it and like the routines and the scripts and stuff like that, rather than the message at the end. is the impression that I got. And maybe people got different messages from it, but that was the message that I got, and I thought that it was actually a kind of interesting story. But yeah, I do think that it emphasizes the importance of just being yourself, but I do also know that in today's day and age, with everyone being like really isolated, this common social anxiety and stuff like that, like people like me have, that's kind of really hard to bring up the courage to go and talk to people and stuff like that. Heard from me yet, by the way? Not really, no. The Fragapalooza 2022 was the last time I saw him. I reached out to him to ask if he was coming to Fragapalooza 2023, and he said that he was busy. And we didn't really chat all that much. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. But yeah, I thought that was a kind of interesting story there. But yeah, well, usually from the stuff you heard, don't even label it as a hookup. They just pretend to be interested until they can do the pump and dump. Really? Also typically pressure vulnerable people into it on dating apps. Oh, because there have been some situations that I've encountered where it's just like, oh yeah, let's just use some like complimentary kind of language with like some seductive undertones, and I'm just like, yeah, no thanks, I'm good. Like there was one recently where I just said, I don't think we're looking for the same thing, sorry, and the response was, well, what are you looking for? I'm like, yeah, I'm not following up here, no thanks, I'm good. So yeah, there was stuff like that, and yeah, I really don't know what the future is going to look like on this front. Oh, the thing is done. Also, it's 11 p.m. I'm going to bed after this. We're not doing any more maps after all. Give me that. Oh, I don't want to in case it's really attached to the build plate, I don't want to snap it off. So let's just do that, and it comes off. And take off the, that. This back here. Look how high that print nozzle got. You can only see the very bottom of it on the camera. That's like most of its height. That's like 2/3 of the way to the top. Yeah, grip wrapping. Well, it might be easier to see if I turn off my light. Ah! If I turn that off. There we go. Grip wrapping. In this semi-transparent green filament that will be that here, essentially. So I guess next time I stream Fire Emblem Fates, we'll print the grip. And then this literally just twists onto it, as I found out with this. It's actually a kind of cool design. So you twist it on, and then it just lines up perfectly like that. I don't feel like taking my dragon off, so I'm just going to show it like that. It's actually really cool. I quite like this design. People that make really cool 3D printing designs are awesome. So yeah, grip wrapping today. Next time we'll do the grip. And then we can start assembling the actual handle. I think we should have, oh no, we're gonna need the first blade piece that comes out of there. And then we'll be able to assemble the handle, I think. Should be all the pieces, apart from some basic like joint pieces that slot between stuff, but that's like a 5-minute print. I can do that whenever. The one grip is real. Yeah, that one's gonna stay here. I better print a second one to put this thingamabob in. But yeah, let's see here. Hate love gurus with a passion, and yeah, that's kind of, at the end of the book, that's kind of how the author felt as well. Like, he started out skeptical, then he got involved with it, and like, wow, these are the best guys ever. Wow, I'm gonna become one of these guys. And then, by the end, he's just like, wow, fuck these guys, holy crap. And some of the ones that he describes in the book as well are like, also really just not good people in general. So yeah, you got to see all types of characters. It was an interesting read though. And there were some, apparently like he worked as a journalist, and his various connections and like things they did there apparently got the attention of like some different celebrities that come up in the story. So like one of the chapters of the story is literally about Tom Cruise showing the author of the book like this Scientology museum. I wanted to get him interested in that. And it was actually a pretty interesting chapter. It was one of my more favorite ones there, because he was talking about how there was this room where those that were having doubts about Scientology were brought to have like their faith in Scientology like restored and reinforced and stuff like that. And some of that chapter is just like, there's social engineering like this everywhere, whether it be like from some dating gurus like he was trying to socially engineer people to think that he's interesting, or people that are like Scientologists that are trying to make people really believe in that faith, for example. Like there's social engineering everywhere you look. So his idea at the time was that he wanted to be on top of it because there's so many manipulators out there. And it's like, wow. It was an interesting read. But yeah, let's see here. Of course, it doesn't sound like you use gay dating sites. Those are more known for it if you aren't a girl. What, for like the that thing where Bob that you described earlier there? Those will happen often on straight dating sites. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it there. One book you recommend is Meditations. Good read. Is it about meditation? What's that about? I assume it's not gonna bring anything up if I just look up Meditations. Oh, there's a couple books that it actually recommends up. I'll just say Meditations book. If I can actually spell Meditations right. There's an Amazon page for a Marcus Aurelius. Sounds like a cool name. A Penguin Classics. Scientologists are real life Pokemon admins. Yeah, of the evil team. That was one there. There's one that, oh, wait, no. It looks like they're all the same. The various ones that are listed here, they're just, like, different prints of the same thing. So I guess it's just that. Meditations. There's a Wikipedia page, apparently. I still have a lot of these tabs open and stuff. Meditations is a series of personal writings by Marcus Aurelius, Roman Emperor. Is this what you're referring to? Recording his private notes to himself and ideas on Stoic philosophy. Is it this classical piece of literature, or is it something else? Either way, this guy sounds like he knew what he was talking about. Yep, okay, interesting. Divided into 12 books that chronicle different periods of Aurelius's life. I love his name. Sick name. Right there. Yeah, there's that. Interesting. But, yeah. Ugh. But yeah, in terms of this whole story, I don't really know what the next step here is. And stuff. I mean, one thing that I'm developing now that is a really cool conversation starter when I'm out and about with it is my Fargo, is the case. Because that's the kind of thing that gets a lot of attention and turning heads and all that. I know I've shown it on the stream here before, but oh, let's see here. Probably been a hot second here. I just sent it to myself in my Discord server here. Like, this thingamabob here, a picture that I took of it recently in storage. Let's see. Whoopity-bop. This pictures channel here. Yeah, this. This has been a project for a decent while now. It's broken down right now. I need to get a specific part fixed. Once that part is fixed, it'll be on the road again and be good to go. And it can't be on the road during winter anyway. I'm not driving that thing through the snow. Screw that. But during the spring, I'll have it out and about again. And I've come to realize that that's a really good conversation starter and stuff like that, in a way to be social with people. Like, the very first time that I drove this thing properly on the road, I broke it down in a McDonald's parking lot, of all places. Ugh. And, so, yeah, that wasn't great. I haven't broken it down since. I'm better at driving it now. Well, unless you count a part literally breaking that has to be broken down now. Not broken down from me driving it. Not well enough, though. And I remember, in the parking lot there was this car that a couple of girls got out, and they were just really surprised to see this kind of truck there that I'm trying to work on, and had a little bit of a conversation about it there. And apparently somebody also ran into the establishment to his friend there and was like, yo, there's a Fargo in the parking lot. And this guy inside was like, there's a Fargo in the parking lot. And he came running out to see the Fargo, and we were chatting with him for a while. Because he knew about these kinds of vehicles. I remember I was driving home from my Oma's place in this thing once, and I was stopped at this stop sign just before, like, going onto a main road, and there was this guy, like, around my age, something like that was waiting to cross, and my windows were open, kind of like this, to keep it nice and cool, and I tell him, like, you can go ahead and, like, go ahead of me if you want, like, crossing the street, and he was just kind of stunned by the vehicle. I was like, how old is this vehicle? And I was like, 1953, so 70 years old at the time last year, now 71, I guess. And he was like, and he recognized that I was around his age, where most people that own and drive vehicles like this are typically older gentlemen. I've entered in 2 shows thus far, and basically every old vehicle owner I see is typically an older gentleman. I'll see some people around my age browsing these shows, but never as vehicle owners. So this guy was kind of surprised that someone around his age was driving something like this. So he was asking how I got it, and we were chatting there at the intersection for a little while, and literally at the stop sign we ended up having this conversation about it. So I realized that this is a kind of social, interesting conversation starter kind of thing when I have it out and about. Not saying that I'd use it to try and pick anyone up or anything like that, but I think that it's cool to have something there where it's like, hey, here's an interesting conversation starter piece that people might potentially be genuinely interested in, and stuff like that. I haven't really talked to anyone around my age at, like, shows yet. Anyone around my age at these kinds of shows have typically gone to the shinier ones, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe there'll be some more conversations started over at sometime in the future, and meet some new people and stuff like that. I don't know. So, yeah, don't really know what things are looking like for the future here, but there's an idea at least of I have something that's a cool, interesting conversation starter thing when I have it out and about. I don't know. I don't know here. Hello, Azure Samurai. I hope things are going well tonight. I should probably get some sleep here pretty soon, because I wake up at 6 in the morning. And it's currently 11:10 p.m. I was not planning on streaming this long, or having the conversation that we ended up having this stream. But hey, it's good to get this kind of stuff off the chest sometimes and express these kinds of things. So yeah, that's all of what's going on there. But yeah, I do admit that when it comes to meeting people and making connections and all that, there is a little bit of a fear with it sometimes as well. I do want to know, like, a couple of my friends growing up, like from the German bilingual program there, are hitched. The friendo, which I think is really early, by the way, the friendo that I was out at the lake cabin with this past weekend, is apparently hoping to get hitched here pretty soon. I think I'm the only... No. Am I the only person in the group that's single? If not, I'm like one of two among like a decent crowd there. And people always assure me growing up, like places like university is like the best place to meet people and make connections that you're gonna have for the rest of your life. I'm going this far in university without anything like that. It's like, did I squander this? Did I just waste it away? Am I basically screwed now? Like, I'm sure I'm not screwed or anything like that, but I feel like there must be some sort of difficulty level or something like that, that as these years go on, I'm only getting like, it's only getting harder and harder and harder, and like the pool should only be getting smaller and smaller and smaller, is what I imagine in my head, and it strikes a little bit of a fear in me, you know, a little bit of a worry, where it's like, is like time basically running out here of like these really good opportunities for meeting people, and like the pool of those who are still looking for someone getting smaller and smaller, and like what am I where does that leave me at? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know what is even really going on anymore. But yeah, let's see here. But yeah, just a good book to change your mind on life, to see things differently. Well, if I have some time, maybe that'll be the next thing that I read on the train. Well, after my books that I'm reading for my video game classes right now. Maybe. But yeah, going to sleep, have your stats test tomorrow. Good luck with the stats test. They're super hyper. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm sure you'll ace the test. Dream car Volkswagen 1984 minibus. I don't know what that looks like, but just hearing the term minibus there. I wonder if it's anything like that Volkswagen thingamabob that I saw when I was at Frag 2023 last year. That was an older Volkswagen that some people were camping out in at the event. Yeah, have you seen the Pokemon Chinese Lunar New Year animation? I've not. You're trying that on your master degree, meeting as many people as possible. Yeah, like that's what I've been trying to do for the past couple of years here. Turns out college and work does hamper your social time during your bachelor's years. Yeah, and that's what I've found here. I've tried to stay a little bit in better contact with my group from last semester that I made a game with, but it's hard, man. Maybe we'll follow up after the semester is through and try to play some games together like we were discussing that we might do and stuff. We'll see. So, yeah, I think that's that story. Don't know if there's anything else I have to add right now or anything like that, but yeah, I guess maybe I I think the lesson here is just try to be more social where I can. Say screw you, social anxiety, and just get out there and talk to people and interact and make connections and stuff like that. Is maybe what the lesson here is. Like, things I already knew, but is good to have reinforced to me sometimes. So maybe that's a takeaway here. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this was a productive, like, delving into thoughts Valentine's Day here, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. That was fair enough there. That's my hope too. But, guess we shall see. see how things play out. There have been people I've told that kind of thing to before that are just like, oh, just give it time and it'll happen. Starting from 19 there, and now, like, I'm about to turn 25 in less than a month, and, you know, so it's been about 6 years here. So, like, part of me does sometimes feel like Kieran from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in several different ways. Like, in this regard, being like, how long am I... is the world gonna have me wait and have that Kieran kind of frustration of like, or like, maybe I'm to blame, maybe I'm not good enough, my value's too low, I'm not doing enough cool stuff, or I don't know. But I try not to get wrapped up in those kinds of thoughts too much and just try to be like, hey, let's just put myself out there more, interact with more people, and see what comes of things. Oh yeah, didn't I say that we were gonna get hitched in Fire Emblem this stream? I did say that, didn't we? That was the whole point of this stream on Valentine's Day. Let's put down that wrap. Hold on. And can I really not mute this in the volume mixer? What if I close the volume mixer and then I open it again? Now it mutes it. Yeah, let's listen to some other music here. I can go into Boo Camp really quickly here. Let's wrap up the night with getting hitched in a video game. How sad is that? Let's see here. No, I almost went to Ghostly Gold. I was confused there for a hot second. I just bring the 2 units. It's fine. Alright, boobity bop. Skip. Shoot oh. And that was like a lance? Or something then? Hold on. I can name a lance that. Do I have a +2 lance somewhere around here? Iron lance is in your inventory. There's the Divorcer. Here's one that I can forge. Here's one that's being used. So, like... the Poker. Whoops. Batman's arch enemy. After the Rizzler. The Poker. I got distracted for a hot second there. Yeah, that should be the lesson of today. Is, become more like the Rizzler. No. I know that the internet comes up with all sorts of weird new slang words like that all the time. It was my cousin's younger kid that had to teach me what the heck Riz meant. Gamble more? I don't know if that's the solution per se. Let's see here. Just, Alright. Well, let's not use the circle pad, let's use my D-pad buttons. Yeah! Maybe separate and do this. Then we save. Let's get hitched here real quick. Don't know if you care, but there's no game audio. Yeah, so we can listen to the playlist music here and stuff instead. Which I can turn that up a little bit. Rather than like the same tired old soundtrack here. Is the case. Do appreciate you mentioning it. But yeah, I figure while we're just doing this mindless grind to get hitched here. Alright, do that. Bam! Wow! Hearts and stuff. And then we'll be adjacent while that guy comes over. I can't work on any sword experience right now, so Tome experience it is. Oh, I should have brought a healer as well. That's what I should have done. Whoops. Aniki ready with a party of 4! I was just about to wrap up this stream here in a hot second. Is what I was going to do. But we're doing one quick map. We're getting hitched in this video game, and then I'm going to bed. Is the case. Oh, get one shot. Sweet. Maybe I'll just pair up here. But yeah, I appreciate the raid there, Nikki, where you showed me some Dead by Daylight. Was it something else today? Were you doing anything fun for our Valentine's Day stream? My game didn't just crash, did it? Oh, crap. I don't think this game wants me to get hitched. It's frozen. Oh! Okay, just be patient with it. Wow. Okay, cool. I just needed to have a little bit of patience and it worked. Just needed to believe. But anyway, hello, Bubba Choosh. Rainy day. Bubba Choosh's second time. At first I thought it was a different name. But yeah, I'm glad you read the stream rules of Bill Nye the Science Guy there. Things are going pretty alright here. I guess the game was not expecting the Spanish Inquisition. It would seem like. We were just having some semi-serious chat and we're just wrapping up this night with getting hitched in this here video game. That guy will come and attack me in a sec anyway. Wait, but we don't gain any affection points on enemy phase anyway, so I don't really need to try and maximize things that way. Just get as many hits as I can here. Wow, that actually jump scared me a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. I appreciate the follow there, Bubba Choosh. Playing some Fire Emblem Fates here. A game that I have a lot of hours in. What is this? Stream 33. Yeah, I have a lot of time in this playthrough here. There's a lot going on with this here video game. Strategy game where you can pair up units to make them have kids, and then those kids have like this combined stats of their parents. And I've recruited all the kid units, paired up all my units, except for my character. With this character here. So, oh, I just wasted my shield for nothing. I thought I was gonna kill with that attack. Whoops. Whoopsie doopsie. So we figured we'd spend Valentine's Day getting hitched in a video game, so that's what we're doing here. Kill that guy, gain some affection points. We battle alongside each other, and then... Okay, I gotta get out of there, because that guy's gonna teleport me over if I don't. But yeah, let's see here. Bubba Choo Chapter 8. Oh, for like the full name there. Oh, as opposed to Bubba Choosh. I gotcha. Oh, no, there's another one of these stone guys. Man, they always lunge at me. If I go here, and then the other one's gonna lunge at me. No! Fine, just go after this guy and see what happens, I guess. Will it be okay? Probably gonna switch a couple times and then be frozen. Yeah, it's not okay. And I don't have anyone that can save me. Unless I separate and then... No, but then we can both get frozen. So, bad RNG. Sucks to suck. Okay. Nah, it's a running joke. Gotcha. But with DBD stuff, was it some good games? Did you get lots of escapes? Were you getting on out of there? Or were the Bubbas that aren't part of Chapter 8 all chainsawing ya? What was going on there? Gosh dang those stone guys. I don't know if I got enough affection points this battle. I might not have. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Let's see if I did, if there's a new support conversation. Wow, another jump scare. I appreciate the follow there, Malcolm. Appreciated. Yes, it is. I can reach S support. I can do the thing. I'll do the other things here quick first. They like each other, but they can't be friends anyway, so it doesn't matter. My prisoner here is gonna want a little bit of persuasion to join our side, but it's gonna take a little while yet. I got some berries at the berry farm, even though I'm always at capacity for those. Here, take a pretty princess bow, Xander, because you're a pretty princess. Oh, he loves it. Heck yeah. And now let's go feed my weird fish dragon next. There you go. Let's just speed it up, because this takes forever otherwise. Speed up the emulation. Wow, a whole point in luck. Thanks for the gold, fish. Alright. You ready for some romance in the air before I go the heck to sleep? Alright. Turn off the playlist music here. Off! Ah! Off. Chill. Game audio. On. Translate as you will. It means that you are sending me $2. Alright, let's see here. Time for a whole bunch of Valentine's Day romance. Let's see. Proceed to S rank. Each unit can only reach S support... Whatever. What did you want to see me to... Wait, what did you want me to see out here, Harmonia? What's going on? Nothing special. Look up at the sky. The sky? Oh, this is the warmest, brightest spot I know. The sun shines especially strong here. Wow, no kidding. So nice. Just like you. Your smile is as radiant as the sun. Wow, he's got away with words, doesn't he? I'd bask in its warmth forever if I could. You feeling okay, Harmonia? Do you take a hit to the head or something? No, I'm being totally serious. For real? Gosh, I wasn't expecting this today. I understand if you're not interested. Since, oh yeah, this seems really weird out of context, but this had to do with, like, the previous support conversations. Yeah, time for the Rizzler to make his play. Since I'm only a woman in your imagination. Since she's kind of into women, mostly. Oh, that's not a problem. I like men just fine. I think I could even get to like one for real if I knew him well enough. That's great. So then, but we're not there yet. The image I had of you during our sessions. It was cute and lovely, but it's not you. Is that a problem? Well, yes and no. The girl you in my imagination was cute and adorable. And if you just wanted to be silly and have fun, I'd close my eyes and imagine her. But it sounds like you're talking about something serious, something real. So that version of you, cute as she is, won't work anymore. Oh, so where does that leave us? We'll just have to start over. Instead of hanging out with you pretending to be other people, we'll hang out and I can get to know who you really are instead. I'm confident we can get there. I mean, I already like you a lot. Enough to make up for me not being a cute girl? Hey, cute's cute. It's high praise coming from you. To be honest. Oh, and then there's like the brief voice bit. Wow, let's see here.
I love you more than all the cute
Wow,
things
that was
in the world
fast.
combined. This is kind of embarrassing.
There's
but
always one of those scenes in this game when
stay
you
with me
support
forever.
someone.
Promise?
What happened to starting over? I don't think that's what happens when you start over with someone, but that's what happens in Fire Emblem games, is someone says they like the other person and they immediately get hitched and have a kid. Look, here's the paralog to go recruit the kid. A village that is home to Harmonia's child, Kana, is under attack. So then we go rush to save Kana. So yeah. Yeah, there's really no bases in Fire Emblem. It just kind of, everything happens immediately. Well, we completed the objective that we set out for this stream. We got hitched. Great. But yeah, and last game was a Naughty Bear Trapper, and it was a super fun game. We had to do Mission Impossible to get the Devour. Nice. Sounds like a fun game there. But yeah, so now if I go to my private quarters, my treehouse, I guess.
Oh,
Hi. Hi, the wifey. Time for Fire Emblem Fates to once again be like one of the weirdest, probably the weirdest Fire Emblem game ever. And the Japanese version, for anyone who doesn't know this, in the Japanese version, they added like a, the way it was originally programmed, I should say, is on the bottom screen where the character's face is. You were supposed to pull out your stylus and like pet their face, because at the time, like, Pokemon had come out a little bit before, like the first Generation 6 3D Pokemon games, where they added that with Pokemon, where it's like you can pet your Pokemon on the bottom of the screen. And Fire Emblem devs, being as weird as they are, were just like, huh, we should add that to our Fire Emblem game. So in the Japanese version, there was like this face petting minigame, but in the Western versions of it, they were like, huh, our Western audiences will probably think that that's like the weirdest thing ever and not want to buy our game. So they changed it to just like, you stare at each other for a second, you get an additional heart, and then they say some line to you. But if I imported my save date over to the Japanese version, there would be the face petting minigame. I showcased it in the last playthrough of the game. So I'll probably showcase it sometime during this playthrough as well, because it's actually really funny. And one of the probably the strangest thing in any of the video games I've ever played. Fire Emblem Fates is just overall a very odd video game. It's even like a little bit of a black sheep in the Fire Emblem series, I'd say. It had a lot of censorship from the Japanese version to the English version. It's a very unique game, let's say. It's a fever dream of a game, is the way that I like to describe it. It can be fun to play a lot of the time, but man, is this game a fever dream and weird. One of the weirdest games that I've played. One of my group mates in one of my computing classes found out, like, from my Discord profile and stuff, that I have a Twitch and YouTube channel here. And yesterday we were doing our midterm and just like sit anywhere in the class and where there's like an exam and stuff. And I sat beside him and apparently he took the time to check out my channel. He was like, dude, like, you have 20K fans. I'm like, not really. No, that doesn't really equate to average like viewership on videos that go up or anything like that, so I don't know if I'd phrase it. And he was asking me if like I made the games myself. That's what I think he asked, not the videos. And I was like, no, I didn't make the games myself. And thank goodness I'm not making games as weird as this myself. Yeah, I'm just making games where AI takes over your writing this semester, and a bullet hell game. But nothing quite this weird. But yeah, I thought that was a interesting kind of interaction there. But yeah, anyway, we got hitched. We completed another 3D print this stream. It is 11:30 p.m. I have to be up at 6 in the morning. Hope y'all enjoyed this Valentine's Day stream that was not at all going the way that I was expecting it to. I gotta get sleep, because I gotta be up early. This was quite the adventure. I saved, right? There we go. Just making sure I'm saved. And you as well, Bubba, not Choosh, but Choo Chapter 8. What happened to the first 7, though, I wonder? But yeah, appreciate everyone who stopped by and hung out for this, like, I usually say this set of shenanigans, but this was more of, like, serious talk time this stream than anything. But it was a good time. Hope you all enjoyed. And next time we're gonna print the grip for the sword in a strictly non-sexual way. And then once we print the first blade piece, we can start assembling and get a new master sword going here. I'm sorry about that, GMK. Time to load save and get hitched again, Noah. Did I name the sword? I think so. Wait. I was reminded of it. It was reposted in the chat, the specific name. And I was like, oh, great. Like, Wildcat posted that again, and I was like, oh, great, thanks. Now I can do it. And then I don't know if I did. I scroll up in the chat. Oh, no. Hopefully it's not gone again. Oh, it is there if I scroll up enough in the chat. Because, yeah, I don't actually think I did. Hold on. Oh, I have a seal sword +2 right here in my pocket. I might, like, once we get everything forged and everyone in their final classes, I'll probably do a lot of weapon rearranging. But yeah, for now, I will use the Chiquita, then, sword, it looks like. That's what's going on here. Wha-bam! For Chikorita. There. Okay. Oh, I have to hit start. There. Bam. Cool.
Come back soon.
I will when I'm through with some university projects and I have time to stream this game again. I guess I could take time between sessions to just level up in boot camp, and maybe I should, just to get to level 15 here and have Life Taker. And Carvia's messaging me on Steam now saying boosted. Like, maybe I should do that on my own time there, just so that we can go right into Kana Paralog next time. Or we could start doing some of the other DLC maps that I need to do anyway, and then be leveling up to 15 along the way. I don't know how much experience I'd be getting from that. I don't know. That's something for me to decide on, not tonight. So, yeah, and then go back to the modern part of the chat there. So, yeah, things are named. I saved, right? I swear I'm that kind of person that's always second-guessing myself. But yeah, with that, appreciate everyone who tuned in here. Hope y'all enjoyed what the serious conversation that this turned into. If anyone was able to, like, learn anything or apply any lessons, like, get out there and be social and stuff or something, I don't know, then great. But yeah, I'm gonna go sleep now. I have my long day tomorrow, where I get up at 6 a.m., get onto university at like 7 a.m., and then my final class gets out at like 8 p.m. if it goes until that time. It's a lab that goes from 5 until 8, so it could end earlier, but I don't like Thursdays. But it's the week before reading week, so I'll have a week off after that, and that'll be awesome. Can't wait to have a week off and tinker around with engines and just catching up on projects like maybe some Fire Emblem here. Alright, I'm rambling on enough here. I'm out of here. See you later, nerds.